Yo, check the mic, 1, 2, hear the flow supreme. This ain't a dream, it's the Constitution scheme. 7 articles laid the groundwork, no fakes, no fiction. But the people cried, where's the specific conviction? So James Madison stepped up, pen game was strong, said, we'll add the rights, that's where we belong. The Bill of Fates, Amendments 1 to 10, that's the start. The OG guarantee, straight from the heart. Let's get it right now with Amendment Uno. Religion, speech, press, assembly. Yeah, you know, petition the government. Air out your grievances, say what you want unless you're causing serious deviations. True threats, Amendment 2, it's not for show, it's the right to bear arms. Militia needs protection, keep the nation safe from harms. The 3rd Amendment is the peace treaty for the crib. No force quartering the soldiers, get that on the rib. Number 4, police pull up, that's the search is easy. Stop, need a warrant, gotta have probable cause or that bus is a fly. 5th Amendment hits hard, that's the due process chain. Grand jury for serious crime or you walk in the rain. No double jeopardy, can't try you twice, that's a fact. And I plead the 5th, cause I'm not turning my back.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, we got the flow, the constitutional glow from 1 to 15. Watch the knowledge grow, it's the supreme law. Yeah, it runs the whole nation, wrap these lines back. Perfect your civil education, all your rights, Lord. Don't ever sleep, the promises we made, the ones we gotta keep. From liberty to justice, all you find will be Amendments 1 to 15. Can't be beat, we got the flow, the constitutional glow from 1 to 15. Watch the knowledge grow, it's the supreme law. Yeah, it runs the whole nation, wrap these lines back. Perfect your civil education. 7-6. I need my defense in a flash. Speedy trial by jury, lawyer for the legal crash. Gotta face my accuser, hear the charges read clean. The justice system working like a well-oiled machine. Number 7 in civil court, when the money gets thick. A jury trial's your right, better learn all the tricks. 8th Amendment checks the judge, gotta keep it fair. No excessive bail or fines and no cool punishments there. Like making you wear a tiny hat forever, that's just too much. Number 9 says my rights are more than the ones in his clutch. Just because it's not written doesn't mean it's void. Gotta enumerated rights, gotta stay employed. Number 10 lasted a
Good evening, everybody.
Massive cloud power's not given to the feds or what to stay from the bloom.
Share this with your friends and family. Rap along with.
Yeah. A lot of history, a lot of fights to get here from the start, but we kept building on that framework with courage in the heart. The next moves were big, fixing original flaws, stepping up the game for equal rights and laws. The Reconstruction era amendments, they drop with a boom, sweeping change for a nation emerging from the gloom. Check the score, Amendment 11, here's a legal tip. You can't sue a state and federal court, that's a long trip. Number 12, change the election for president VP. Separate ballots, no multi-drama for you and for me. Now listen close, cause these 3 are the core of the change. 13th Amendment drops slavery, reobeys the ranch. No more involuntary servitude, the shackles are undone unless you're locked up in prison. Then the system is won. 14th Amendment stepped in, every on the scene, granted citizenship, so all born here, kept the slate clean. Due process and equal protection are the headlines. All persons under the law, no more dividing lines. And finally, Amendment 15, the victory shout. Can inaugurate the movies, no race, pulling on the stops out. Color of previous condition of servitude, that ain't a block. The ballot box is open, put the power in your blood. Yeah, 1 to 15 in the cut, that's a constitutional drill. Dope rhymes and knowledge, a history lesson, it's ill. Remember the Bill of Rights and the power that was free. The supreme law of the land, planted like a seed. Now go forth and rap it, pass the knowledge on the street. Peace and protect your rights, keep the Constitution complete. Stick with good citizen media, knowledge is power, watch and see. You have rights, you have duties just like me. You have rights, you have duties just like me.
What's up, everybody? How are you doing tonight? Tonight we got Walsenburg. They got their workshop going. I'm gonna switch over here and share that screen.
What's up, ACR? Corey?
Evening, all.
You know, there's one thing I do like about Zoom. Zoom's updated so that way it has a picture-in-picture. The downfall is, did I share the audio? That's the downfall, because it's a different way of sharing. I did not share audio. There you go. See, you got to double check all your stuff. Make sure that you're all
Check,
sound.
check.
Check.
Mr.
They might be
Officer
muted here.
Malloy. Good to see you.
All right. Uh-oh. John dropped out for a second. Yeah, I think they're on mute. Looks like they're getting ready to
I'm gonna
still
drop
getting
out
ready
too.
to go here. Yeah, we were just going over some body cams earlier. Some pretty funny body cams earlier, I gotta say.
I mean,
Everybody seems
I'm
everybody.
gonna drop out. You know,
What's that?
it's gotta be the thing to do. I had to
Drop out.
Yep.
What's up, Savage?
Savage Scales.
Scales.
Yep. So this is a workshop here for the first hour, and then they get into the regular meeting. But you never know what you're gonna see or hear. So here we are. You know.
Well, I mean, especially after like viewing Sugar City and having a few videos thrown up, and hey, you guys need to look at this. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna hear when it comes to these meetings. I swear, like they like to do a lot of Freudian slips. I swear.
Well, we'll see what they get accomplished.
Is that Rick there?
It looks like it from here. I'm not sure.
It kind of looks like Rick.
It does from here. No, it isn't. It's John.
No.
Galusha.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. It was
the way he's dressed, I think, made it.
Well, and the top
those guys are tough. Watch out.
The top of the desk kind of looked like white hair. That's what threw me off a little bit. So
here we go. Everybody's jockeying for positions.
Is the camera set right?
Hey guys,
what's up? Wave. Say hi. No waves. Okay.
No. Oh man, it is funny.
There you go.
Perfect. Wave.
Perfect.
Wave,
right there.
Hey.
Just leave it right there. It's perfect.
Oh, so this is going to be a long show, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. We appreciate it. Hang out, man. We need to watch hours over here. So even if you're just making dinner or whatever, just let it play in the background. You know what I mean? Let's get the watch hours up over here on the You People channel. Appreciate y'all. This is most definitely going to be a couple hours long. So get your popcorn, your drinks, all that shit together right now. Grab a Snickers maybe. I don't know.
Scales, I'm not going to confirm nor deny that somebody in there that has control of the camera has an earpiece connected to us. I'm not going to confirm nor deny that.
Supposedly, allegedly. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We've got a lot of connections in a lot of places that people don't expect. So, I mean, ask Jake. He knows.
Right.
He still hasn't found our mole yet. Jake, have you found our mole yet?
Nah, he's looking. Oh, there's Ron Stafford. Glad he could make it. He's like, arrest him.
That's his new catchphrase, though. Arrest him.
He needs a shirt, dude. with his face on it that says "Arrest him."
I think we can do that in Zazzle. I
know.
think we can do that. I think we'll make one up.
Should. He'd love it. He'd probably buy one for everybody.
Probably.
The whole
We can
council-
stick his face on the front of it. It'll be awesome.
Right. The whole council.
We can call it Jake's Mole Hole.
What's up, Gregory? Good to see you. That's right. Oh man.
Well, it's 5 o'clock, so they can kick on the audio. I really like hearing like the background talk before the meetings. That's the fun part about going, because you actually get to hear what's said and not mute it out. Like prior to the meetings or after the meetings, you can catch some pretty good stuff. What is it? I think it's this. Then we go down here, and then let's try this one.
Can you please turn on the Zoom audio?
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for asking. We greatly appreciate you.
Said the pledge is on, it's on for the meeting, not for the work.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm not gonna have it. But he wanted the speakers on.
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking about the pledge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I'm gonna turn this over to Jerry. This is your deal, so the whole.
Mayor, members of council. Been a little over 30 days since I've been here. This report is a proposal from program, kind of guide our focus on some key issues that we talked about internally and have identified to try to align our activities, coordinated program. Hopefully all of you have a copy of this.
Yes.
Had a issue on Friday, and so I had to get this over the weekend. And so I apologize that this wasn't sent to you earlier, but I'll just go through it and we can stop where you'd like to stop, or we could have discussion at the very end. But it's on the agenda, just kind of an introduction. Other topics on this agenda: building and restoring confidence in local government, recommended focus areas for this strategic work plan, some examples on how we would report to council on status of these activities, and next steps. So kind of the overarching theme of when I got here, it's that there, because of continuity in the key administrative positions at the city for the last several years, things are a little bit discombobulated. We've had significant issues in various departments. We're identifying those and we're working through those. But the bottom line is the public needs to hold the administration accountable, and we need to provide good customer service to our citizens. And hopefully, by going through this process, we can identify where we can align some things to work for the public. So, just building and restoring confidence in local governments. Our citizens deserve great local government. Just because we're a small city doesn't mean that the citizens have to do without. All cities like Walsenburg have to provide essential services. We have minimum mandatory staffing levels in certain operations. And we need to identify a very transparent way and a way that's accountable to the public to show what we're spending our money on, where are our cost centers, where are our sources of revenue, and how do we become more efficient and effective. So this work program is more focused on stabilizing the organization and just providing initial direction. Also, hopefully we can align some of these priorities. And then I'm going to give you kind of some examples of how we would do this reporting. So the focus areas of this work program, there are 8 of them, could be 25, could be 3. Some overarching themes I thought I would go over. These are in a little bit of a priority. So for example, the plan area focus, the number 1 item on this little list is utility billing. And then I've heard from many of you about our financial reporting. What is our current financial status? We're working on that. Risk management is a concern in certain areas. Containment of public safety, cost containment. Bringing on a police department, again, with minimum mandatory staffing and certain activities of the police department, which trigger overtime. Say, for example, for a detective, we got to watch revenues versus expenditures pretty closely to make sure that we have a balanced budget for the year. We're also going to I want to talk about the city's fleet and our fuel issue, or the cost of fuel, and some ways to hopefully reduce some of those costs.
Were they talking about defective
housing development?
Everhart?
And then we'll talk about 2 potential enterprise operations that we would need to account for this year. So getting to the utility billing, we need to align all of our standard operating procedures in a way that we can put on the website. People can understand their utility bills. We eliminate errors that are made in the utility billing process, whether it's inputting information in the system, adding new customers to the system, deleting customers from the system. And so, we need to provide a better way of tracking and reporting. For example, the Walsenburg affords folks the opportunity to enter into a payment plan, for example. Well, we should be reporting that to City Council. How many of our customers are on payment plans? Why are they on payment plans? Is there a trend there? What does it really mean by doing things like that? And again, restoring the public trust in our ability to provide, this utility billing service, restoring that trust. Next, transparent financial reporting. We need to get the finance department aligned so that everybody knows exactly what they're doing. We get reports in a consistent manner to council, the way that you want to understand the financial reports. There's different ways of conveying the information, and this year I'd like to work with the council to come up with the best way. Sometimes the way that the finance individuals read reports isn't as clear, the way that they are presenting information that they work with. Sometimes it's a little bit indecipherable. It doesn't really give you kind of a, what does this really mean? Particularly when we're looking at seasonal revenues, depending, for example, if we reopen the water park, we've got a budget for that. We've got to anticipate revenues for that. And then we got to report on those things. We'd also like to start the budgeting process a little bit earlier. Once we get a firm understanding of our 2025 financial position, we'll go back, look at the budget, see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked in the budget. Some cities do a mid-year budget adjustment, usually in the May time period after they've had their year-end closeout and they've had their audit done. That may be something that the city council may want to consider. Also, making sure that we have a capital improvement program that is consistent, it's updated, that we can budget for larger projects over multiple fiscal years. That's a good way to save up the money over time, and then not every year it's an emergency, we're scrambling to find money for large capital projects. And then the other thing is we want to do a deep dive into where are our largest sources of revenue? How could we expand those sources of revenue? Are there projects or activities that would provide new sales tax opportunities? New to the market retail, for example, would be one category. But we want to provide a snapshot of where's the money coming from, try to identify a way to project over time, and hopefully identify any issues before we go through the budget process for the next year. Risk management, I've said this a few times already, identifying single points of system failure. We have one, sometimes two individuals in these key essential functions, and they drive together in a vehicle. If something were to happen to both of those two individuals, the whole water department, for example, the treatment plant, things like that would go down. So we just want to make sure that there's cross training, that we have a plan in case somebody gets sick, somebody else is on vacation. We need to have a third tier person available for some of these essential functions. So that's what we were looking at from a risk management perspective. Training is very, very important. Our working with Pinnacle is going to be critical for us with that training, we believe. Public safety cost containment. Public safety is the number one thing that needs to provide, be that clean drinking water, actual police protection. But it's a cost center that we're going to have to monitor very closely. So that includes costs of fleet, vehicle repairs, fuel, things like that. We need to identify what is the staffing level that we're trying to achieve. I've heard from some members of council about, okay, how many police officers do we have? What's their deployment? Things like that. So we want to make sure that that's provided to the city council in a clear manner. Next, I'll talk about a city fleet fuel program. I was a little surprised when I got here that Walsenburg, the city, doesn't have what they call a fuel farm. It doesn't appear to me that we purchase fuel in bulk. Some cities, for example, in Pueblo, sometimes we would piggyback off a bid that Colorado Springs got for fuel. The state allows you to piggyback on certain bids that were let. And so we would go out to whoever was the successful bidder for Colorado Springs and tell them, hey, if you give us that same price, we'll piggyback off of that contract and award that fuel contract. And the point is to buy it at bulk and get it at a reduced cost. It appears to me that we're using those cards to fuel the vehicles. Is there a cheaper way to do that instead of paying retail, be at the mercy of retail and gasoline prices? So I think the county has a fleet program and a fuels program. So we probably want to research those and provide you the information so that you can provide us guidance and if we're going in the right direction on this. Also, standardizing our vehicles to a certain degree. Our police department fleet is a tad bit haphazard. We bought used vehicles. We're experiencing a lot of nuisance repairs. These vehicles had many miles on them already. And one thing about police cruisers, police vehicles in general, is they're running all the time. And
yeah, Joe, this is a workshop. The regular meetings start at 6.
Your vehicle, over time, you could scavenge parts and do some other things to try to keep a fleet together. Also, in public works, for example, they don't put as many miles. So is there a way that you could cycle vehicles through the police department fleet to a certain point and then transition them into another municipal operation so we get better value over a longer period of time? So those are some things we want to talk about. Economic development strategy. This would involve reaching out to our partners, Orfano County Economic Development, the county administration itself, business leaders, but we want to make sure our strategy is Walsenburg centric. There are things that are in the best interest of Orfano County, that may or may not be in the best interest of the actual municipal government. So we want to identify, are we incentivizing certain businesses to come here? How do we build chase packets to go after certain businesses? We know our utilities and development standards better than anybody else. Could we help Huerfano County Economic Development, or at least give them a set of tools and information when they go out looking for folks that, that they're identifying where our industrial sites are, answering the question about housing, where's the workforce going to come from, things like that. So that's the economic development strategy. Housing development strategy, we need to reach out to our nonprofit partners and figure out a way to help them build more housing. There's a lot of money at the state level in housing. There are different, be it senior housing, kids leaving foster care, there's housing programs for those folks. There are a lot of different programs out there. And if we could tap some of those and then align a redevelopment strategy.
Hey, Joe, I texted you.
We could try to produce more residences in the city. More residences in the city, it adds to the tax base. People are paying more, user fees, things like that. One thing we kicked around is trying to come up with a pilot program for first-time home buyers. Try to figure out a way to build small, affordable, first-time home buyer housing. Right now, in particular, I've been looking to try to find a home here in Walsenburg, and they're at this price point that is pretty unattainable for most individuals. And it's an older home. Sometimes it's too big of a home for some individuals. If they're just starting out in life, they may not need a 1,500 square foot house. An 850 square foot house could work. And trying to work with the state and maybe build a couple of demonstration projects, some housing types, and see how that works. And then go after investors or developers and pitch the community as a
congratulations, sir.
Win for the government, win for the developer, and win for the user. So if we can create a transparent process, a development process, hey, look, if you're going to want to build houses in Walsenburg, here's the roadmap. Here's what we can do to help you. And just so everything's up front, we know what the development costs are. We want to make sure development pays its own way to the extent it can. And if we need to provide incentives, then we need to have that conversation with council. So developing that housing strategy. Enterprise development. So we're talking about the municipal golf course next week. That would be an enterprise operation that will have to be analyzed, budgeted, and appropriated and staffed. Also, the municipal water park, same situation. And then if we're bringing on seasonal temporary workers, we need to identify where we could source those individuals from. Are there existing workforce partners, in the community where we can reach out to them for some of these seasonal employees, maybe even reach out to the school district for seniors in high school, for example, if it's the, so identifying where we would source those workers. And then I want to talk about
What's up, 801?
Plan reporting. I'd like to get a more formalized reporting structure about priority projects, who's responsible, what the status is. Provide that in a document that's provided to City Council at least on a monthly basis. Hopefully we can tweak it so it gets you the information that you want and need and not inundate you with paperwork. We want to make sure that it's easy to understand what our activities are. And then we want to align our expenditures and our budget to this work program. Are we putting the money where we really need it to go? Or are we undertaking an activity that's not a priority of the City Council, but it's burning up staff time and staff resources? Maybe we need to slow down on that particular activity. So this is just a simple example of one way it'd be an Excel spreadsheet. This example, utility The focus area would be utility billing. An objective would be to reduce the number of errors in our utility reads. That's been an issue we've identified. Identify who's responsible. So who's providing the overwatch on this stuff? So if council has a question, you know who to go to. You know, you don't always have to go directly to me or John. In some cases, you know, the lead staff person, you can go directly to them. I'm okay with that kind of stuff. Then provide a targeted completion date, a progress status report, and then notes that we could track for these activities. And the whole point is for you to evaluate me, I need to know what the priority work programs are, and then I need to provide these documentation. I have to prove my worth. And this is a way to show that we're not dropping the ball, we're not forgetting something. And this can be modified, updated. If an emerging issue all of a sudden becomes a high priority, well, we would add it to our list. And then we would work with council to rank where these activities are and come up with those targeted completion dates. So those targeted completion dates are going to have to be staggered because of lack of depth in certain operational functions. So when we say we're working on it, well, what does we're working on it mean? Well, and then establishing firm deadlines is important for the administration and our workforce to make sure that they're attending to task on time. Another example in here is risk management. The objective would be develop comprehensive new employee and annual training program. It would be the supervisors, myself, and we'd be working with Pinnacle on those issues. We'd establish a reasonable target date. We identify progress. Well, we haven't done anything yet on it. And then, what's the next actionable item? Well, we need to get this thing rolling. We need to reach out to Pinnacle and start having meetings with them. So that's an example of the reporting. With respect to next steps, after you've had a chance to go through this, if it looks like something that you support, well, we could have it attached as an exhibit to a resolution instructing the city administrator to undertake these activities as priorities and work with council. And then we would schedule some work sessions with council and ways to provide more detail on all those items and then build this reporting matrix, if you will. So you can evaluate what we're doing on a weekly basis. So with that, I apologize, I didn't have a real fancy PowerPoint and a bunch of other things, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
I'm curious about financials and maintaining a budget. You were very adamant about doing that. Or what is the chain of command? Or is it you and then everybody's under you? We're developing a budget, so you'd go to the chief, you'd go to all the parks, different departments.
Yeah, I still don't have a firm grasp on our financials yet, and we're waiting for that report. And so we as an internal team are all going to have to meet, in May and identify budget timeline where we got to meet meet within the departments and get that information, things that we're exploring back and forth to the council. But like, for example, my salary is the way I understand it. Part of it comes from one fund, part of it comes from another fund. And so when you're splitting some activities through multiple funds, it doesn't really paint a full picture of, where your cost centers are. So how do we take that split billing and present it to you in a way that's easy to understand and easy for the public to understand?
I'm more comfortable with the budget layout type where you do previous year, previous month comparison and a percentage spent up to date, year to date. To me, that's what I'm used to. That's what I like to see. And you got to keep in mind that there's periods of time during the year is more expensive than other periods.
Right. And so we need to identify those, if it fits some sort of bell curve in an operation, how do we present that information to you? Also, budget information, I like to present it in at least 2 different formats, sometimes 3. So some people like spreadsheets, others like pie charts, other people like graphs, you know, some of those things. So if we can provide the same information in a couple of different formats, hopefully we can get the public and council used to, you know, how we're managing this and how we're trying to, you know, provide some transparency on this. Because if you're not a person who works with spreadsheets and you didn't know the nuances about how we bill certain things, our reporting would look Greek to some people. And so how do we avoid that confusion or misunderstanding? And a lot of the stuff that we do, it's misunderstandings that get kind of blown out of proportion.
I'd like to see the fund balances be cash too, in all the funds. They're convoluted with assets.
Yeah,
To me, that isn't the fund balance.
that's absolutely right.
Okay.
It overinflates, you know, how much,
You can't tell what you're doing.
and if we do, where are we gonna actually get the money from? Is it liquid or not? Some of those things.
Anybody else?
Have you considered putting a freeze on any discretionary or non-emergent spending until you get a handle on the budget?
You know, I try not to, I'm trying to keep things as status quo as I can until we've stabilized certain functions. We've had some employee turnover, even as of today. We've had 2 individuals resign in our workforce. So we're gonna have to be moving some folks around and having some conversations on, like, the gas department, for example. We need to have some serious discussion about, does it make sense to have that staffed up with city employees? Does it make sense to farm that out? That's a decision that you all are gonna have to make, but we gotta provide you some options. And kind of all the regulatory compliance is getting more and more complex with water, wastewater, gas, everything. And if we can't staff up and find qualified individuals, then maybe we should outsource some of our functions. It would actually be cheaper in some cases. Personnel is, many of you probably have your own businesses. Overhead is, you know, personnel costs could eat you alive.
And what does that do to rates to citizens?
Well, gas, for example, some of the things we're looking at would actually, we would transition to a new operator, but it would be without any increase in costs or increases in fees to the rate.
Guaranteed?
Well, we're gonna propose stuff to you, and then will all have an opportunity to evaluate it, and then we want to report on that. You know, another thing is, on some of these reports and some of these items that we quickly bring to city council, some of these items, it may be better for us to take a little bit of time and actually write a written staff report for that particular resolution, for example, and get that to you earlier so you have enough time to digest the material. We've been, you know, my observation is that we're in triage mode. Things are coming at us and we get them on and get them done, get them on, get them done. And that's just because we've had so much turnover, so much disarray. And so hopefully if we can align the workforce, everybody's singing from the same sheet, we can slow some things down and give them appropriate time to, you know, to cure, to perfect it a little bit and get you the information that you need. So it's not always just a knee-jerk council, you gotta act on it right now. You know, this issue was brought up last week. We sent you a contract. Now you're reacting. It'd be nicer if we could have a little bit more lead time to get you the information. So hopefully the city council meetings themselves function more efficiently and faster, be respectful of your time.
So kind of back to what Jennifer was saying about discretionary funding. I mean, this going to O'Reilly's and spending here and there, going to Sporley, spending here and there, like, it's just still free. You know, everybody's spending everywhere. Like, there's no plan to it. We're putting out fires, we're, you know, spending all over the place. You know, even in some of these staff reports that come to us, there's one tonight, like it's $300. Like, it just, everybody just thinks that there's no bottom to the city's checking account, and that's not true.
Well, once we get our financial report in a manner that we're comfortable internally, then we're gonna have some sit downs with the department heads and make sure we're aligned on expenditures. And we got to monitor with the new police department, we're gonna have to monitor them very carefully. More so than you probably ever have since the last time you had a police department.
How soon for a financial that's readable?
Well, I think we've moved it to what date?
February, what day is that meeting? February 3rd?
February
So
3rd.
that we can have the year-end report closed out. So it'll close out 2025. Still the main checking or the main account that has not been reconciled. That was supposed to be done by the accountants the 1st of August. That is still not. So we're gonna, right now, they could provide a report to you tonight. That would have been 75% complete. I said, let's hold off until next meeting to get a good report.
Yeah, that's some of the, if I may real quick, some of the reports that I was going over, because they're incomplete, they're meaningless to me. I'm better off not even having seen it if it's not complete.
Two questions. Why do we continue to spend on things that are not absolutely urgent? And we are scheduled next Tuesday to have a financial meeting. So we will have that financial meeting with no financials.
Well, the plan was to have a more thorough presentation on the.
I thought the financial was the golf course financials. I thought that was the whole thing of that.
Both, Gary.
Supposed to have been the financials for the city and the golf course, the two topics combined for the 20. Yep.
Yeah.
We can change it, but that's what was.
I don't think the finance department's going to be ready for financial.
Yeah, based on our discussions this morning, they're not there. I'd hate to present something to you that a week later could change. And could change significantly, I don't know.
No, there's no sense running a report if the numbers aren't right. I mean, what's the point?
So again, we should stop spending.
Yeah, we need to stop spending so we get a handle on it.
My concern is sometimes when you stop spending, things end up costing more. Like I just did my brakes. If I would have not done my brakes, it would have cost more.
Because your rotors.
Because then I would have had to have done my rotors as well.
But that's different. We're talking about discretionary spending. Yeah, that would be an emergent situation. Like you have to get the brakes fixed. Like you can't not.
You don't have money in your checking account to fix those other things. How do you pay for it?
Well, and that's what goes back to aligning our departments so that we're all, marching to the same music in that, okay, we want to curtail expenditures. We want to only buy what's critically essential, those things, and have that come down from council to administration, down to the directors, down to the frontline employees. So everybody understands this is how we're doing business moving forward. Because they've been, for lack of a better phrase, feral operations for a little while. Out of necessity, they haven't had centralized kind of all been functioning on their own by necessity. And we need to align some things. Maybe we could build some economies of scale and, again, trying to provide backups and things like that. Is there some cross-pollination in departments? Even though their funds are separate, can we balance some costs a little bit more efficiently with the workforce, through those departments? So right now, for example, we have one contract individual in our entire gas department. That's it. So, we got a lot of groundwork to do internally to get staffing up, and then also creating an environment where people are compensated fairly, they're treated with respect, and they want to come to work. So there's been some bad blood that we're kind of trying to smooth over internally. Some individuals have decided to leave, and that may not necessarily be a bad thing for the inter-office relationships. Yes, sir.
What types of things are we spending that money on that are non-essential? Like Want to buy a candy bar? Like, what, well, why would we be spending any money on something we don't need? We need a part, we gotta go buy it.
Well, we need to have answers for what we're doing.
That brings me to
We need to
the,
report it to you, because right now, again, just my observation is everybody's just throwing everything to council and you're getting it, but you're not getting it in a refined manner.
the point is this, is that as so long as there's accountability from the department head to whoever's going out and getting what they need. Hey, what'd you get? What'd you get over there? Well, we needed a part or a tool for this. Okay, and as long as there's accountability up the chain, you know,
I think we're getting there.
yeah.
I think without, probably certainly before John got here, it was pretty Wild West, I think. And so, John's done a pretty good job he's done a really good job of curtailing expenditures, He's a frugal guy.
You just don't want to get in a position to where a guy's afraid to go buy some PPE because, and then he ends up cutting his finger off or something.
Well, we get, PPE, for example, we get dinged in our, audits from our risk managers, CIRSA, Pinnacle. We need to pay. Those are critical things.
Yeah.
We can get sued. We can be liable. A lot of bad things can happen if we're out of regulatory compliance. So making sure our employees have the critical resources that they need, that's absolutely what we should be doing. And there are some cases we've slid a little bit on some of that.
I was just gonna say, buying the proper stuff, not just buying gloves for the sake of buying gloves.
You're right.
I mean, not buying them from Amazon, that you're doing it in the appropriate way and that you're buying the appropriate things.
Yeah, God forbid one of our employees was given or was forced to buy substandard equipment or PPE and got hurt on the job, and they documented that we should have done something different. And then, that's more liability to us. It's better to nip those issues before they become a bigger problem.
Is there anybody that can even just buy from Amazon? Or my understanding, they have credit cards that they can you use that credit card towards a purchase on Amazon and those? Sharon, do they have that kind of?
Used to.
We do have some purchases on Amazon, yes.
But that has to go through somebody to get that approved, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Finance and financial reporting is going to become a bigger topic, a more consistent item on your agenda.
Are we to the point where we don't need the outside CPAs? We can do this on our own? Is that?
I'd like to get to that point.
I thought you were there.
We actually fired them $178,000 last year.
Yeah.
So between even contracting with Mark Ellis and Melissa has really picked up on stuff. Between those two, I think that we have a solid finance department.
Yeah, we're good. The idea is to train up Melissa to the point where, she feels comfortable handling and doing all these reports and managing the staff underneath her, to just get our accounts in order. But that was a lot of money to spend on and out of town.
That's not what this council agreed to. That's probably double what we agreed to.
We want to be able to do it with our own.
I'm saying nobody's watching the bank. It's like nobody stopped them.
We want to be able to report to you at least once a month. What's our status? Where are we? How are revenues trending? How are expenditures trending? I don't want to surprise anybody with, all of a sudden we have a budget issue. If we have increased revenues, I wouldn't recommend spending anything more outside the budget until, maybe the following year. So the goal would be to beat budget, to actually put money back in the fund balance. And then maybe the surplus revenue rolls into your 5-year capital program. So if we have surplus revenues in 25 in a particular category, maybe you put it in the 26 budget in a capital line item or something like that. And also establishing a reserve policy. I haven't seen anything yet, but what is council's pleasure with respect to a minimum, undesignated fund balance reserve? you know, how much liquid cash is it? You know, some places it's 10% of your general fund budget. Other places it's more than that. Some are less.
A third, maybe, yeah.
Tabor reserve, you know, that's 2.33, I think. So you always have that. Yeah, that's mandatory. So getting direction on some of those items and then presenting them to you consistently.
This guy says the town needs to be on the Dave
Well, that being
Ramsey
here, we're gonna get the finances in order.
diet, which is
Yeah, 'cause
beans
I've
and
been here
rice and
almost
rice and
5
beans.
years
You
now.
ain't
City
getting no
council meetings
dessert.
The entire time I've been here, and there's been no transparency when it comes to the budget. We had our former finance manager who said the city was gonna be broke in 5 years. That there wasn't gonna be any money. We didn't have money for anything. And then we had Mr. Galusha say, yes, we do have money and we're in the dark. We have no idea where we're sitting.
Well, part of it is, again, reporting information in multiple formats. So, you know, for example, when I at the public
Don't
Authority,
answer.
we had fuel gauges, you know, a graphic representation of a fuel gauge, where we are in those, you know, as to budget. So there are a lot of different ways you can present the information. But it's got to be consistent across. The numbers all balanced, they all jive, they, you know.
Yeah, up until now, I relied on the audit report to have any confidence in what's actually there. And that's what, a year late?
And that's
A year late all the time?
backward looking statement. Yeah, we need to be able to put,
You taking questions from the audience?
we can, sure.
So, couple of questions. Are Mark and Jennifer permanent employees?
Jennifer.
Mark Ellis, is their name Jennifer? Melissa,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Melissa is a full-time employee in finance, and Mark is a contract employee helping get the finances squared away.
And his,
Okay.
I think his contract's up in April, the end of April.
Okay, and then Mary, you've mentioned several times, and I agree with this, about going to a cash accounting basis. Cash basis accounting instead of accrual. Is that possible? I mean, it's more transparent.
We have to report the GOFA, you know, the way that the government reporting has to be filed. So we could take that same information and present it in a different way. And so that's kind of, again, presenting the same information in multiple formats so it answers the question. You know?
Well, accrual accounting to me just seems to be, it's definitely an easier way to hide money. With moving it around and accruing here and accruing there rather than just a cash basis, and it is what it is, in my opinion.
Well, we probably need to be looking at both.
Yeah, okay.
But one would probably be an internal document that's not filed with our audits.
Because the reports that Jim Moore used to give, they didn't always have accurate information, but they were a readable format with the budget and the month-to-date, year-to-date financials.
Yeah, except the fund balance in the water department.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know why that, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So regarding contracts, and no disrespect to Mr. Ellis, but did his contract come before council? And did Debbie Barnes' contract come before council to be approved? I don't think so.
I believe you'll find that, you go back in the minutes, I think that was, Debbie Barnes was July, around
August 6th.
August 6th.
Mhm.
Okay, well, it was backdated. I think she started around July 13th or 14th.
It was just mentioned that you had brought her on board in the minutes, that you had
Yeah,
brought her on board.
But contracts have to come to council. Anything like that, and raises too for employees. You might promote somebody, but you can't increase their pay unless it comes to council.
We gotta align a lot of ways of doing business. City council needs to approve a staffing ordinance every year. We need to have them approve a pay and classification plan every year. All of those things is what we should be doing.
And it's in the handbook.
And I could probably show you more things that we're not doing than we are. The issue is we've got to get back to our core functions and get staffed up and get work, done. We've been, it's triage. We've had people moving around. We've had a lot of people leave. Things were left undone, and until it blew up, that we didn't even know it was an issue. So it's all getting back to, like what I said earlier, building and restoring confidence in our local government. We, rightly or wrongly, we are perceived as not being very good at what we do. And we've got to rectify that. The only way we can rectify that is to get these reports out, to get the information presented in a manner that people are comfortable, and so we need to build back trust and credibility.
We have Mark Craddock online.
Yes, I wanted to respond just briefly to Jennifer Novak. She made the statement that the financial director has said we will be broke in 5 years, while John says we're pretty much just fine. I just wanted to clarify that again for a bit, because I believe what you're talking about was the story I ran, quoting the financial director, talking specifically about the water fund, the debt that, as we all know, came real close to default and would indeed have been us being broke. And the council worked diligently over the last couple of years to rectify that situation, to stabilize the debt payments and load. But had they not done so, that finance director would have been absolutely correct and somewhat prophetic in his predictions. So I think you might be comparing apples and oranges just a bit in that case.
Yeah. Cynthia Cresswell.
Hi, Cynthia Cresswell, CRESSWELL. Mr. Pacheco, I understand that you say you don't want to stop the discretionary spending until you get a budget, but if you don't have a budget, then you're spending money that you don't know whether you have or not. I do understand that the employees need to have the necessary equipment for them to better perform their jobs efficiently without a hassle, but you don't know what you have because you don't have a current tool inventory. The best thing to do would be have a tool inventory of everything in your shop, everything in the trucks, and then create a tool crib so you have a check in, check out, so you know exactly what you have on hand, what you need, what you don't need. And as far as PPE, I understand what you're saying, that the employees need to have something adequate so that they don't get injured. But that should be a state compliance. That should be something that the city does themselves, purchases themselves, hands out to the employees, rather than the employees being able to go and just purchase something that they feel might be adequate equipment to keep them from being injured or because they like it. That should be a state compliant thing that the city is responsible for. But until you have a full budget to know what you're working with, to just keep spending, you're going to go further into the red without knowing whether you're going into next year's budget. Do you have it?
We have a city council approved budget for 2026. And as I stated earlier, we have some essential functions that we have to do it. We just have to do it. And so regular occurring operational costs, I mean, those are just ongoing. The municipal budget is budgeted in such a way that, we're relying on the sales tax that comes in monthly. So we need to monitor that. And so long as we're hitting our revenue targets and we're tracking our expenditures to budget, I think we're going to be okay. I'm not saying that we have no clue whatsoever. We can interpolate a lot from our sales tax receipts. So it's the beginning of the year. I haven't seen anything major come across our desks for expenditure purposes. But we've got a lot of vacancies in some departments. And so there could be some vacancy savings there, some salary savings there. We won't know until we, get our baseline for this last year. How did we do? And then we need to start monitoring prospectively.
Got another one behind you?
Yes.
So yes, there is a budget, but it's in the red. It's not a balanced budget. So that creates some issues. Also, I appreciate your speaking, but are the council members also going to speak tonight as to what they're expecting out of this?
I've asked the questions I wanted to ask.
I mean, about, what you see us doing this year, like usually council says, well, I'd like to see, the water lines fixed or something. So are you going to say anything about what you see, what your visions are for this year?
I'd like to get the water park going. One of my major ones. John's put a pretty aggressive street project together. We're gonna get caught up there. We haven't been spending the sales tax on streets paving like we should have been. That's gonna get caught up. And then the ultimate goal is getting the budget where you can read it.
Get that and plus aligning it with your 5-year capital plan. So you know what projects so everybody knows what we're doing. Everyone knows prospectively what the water department is doing.
Right.
And as the budget process, we start the budget process earlier in the year. And we work with the council on establishing the priorities for the next year. The whole idea is to, once the 26 budget's approved, what I'm trying to do is build some structure to guide some things.
I agree.
And so we can track those.
But usually like they'll go down the list. Jennifer, what do you see? And she might say, well, I want the water and I see you're doing the street, but do we need the water lines and sewer before we do all the streets?
Well, there's going to need to be work sessions for as part of the budget process.
Man, she's in the front row, bro.
Department or essential function will be responsible for making a presentation to city council, status of the operations, emerging issues, kind of like a SWOT analysis.
So is that all we're talking about is the budget? It's not, we're not going to talk about what.
We're talking about visioning, I think, with Jerry so that we can work together and make sure he's working on things that we agree with and that he's aware of our importance.
So I'll speak for myself. It's hard to have a vision when I don't know what my vision can be paid for or not paid for. We're talking about unnecessary spending. Yet there's meetings last week about spending $100,000 that's not budgeted, don't know where it's coming from, to do sidewalks in 2 blocks of the city when we have all of this other stuff going on. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, I think it's a grand idea. I think it's a great idea, but we don't have the money and it definitely isn't budgeted. So it's hard to have a vision of what I would like to see when we're doing all this other stuff. So that's my 2 cents.
If we can get out of being reactionary and, be more proactive and having actual plans and anticipate.
Just have an open mind.
Okay, it's an emergency. CDOT's going to do a project. They may or may not include the site. We need more runway in advance of when we have to make decisions and things. You should know, the next 5 years, and it's it could be a fiscally constrained 5-year plan, or it could be an aspirational 5-year plan. Because in reality, you're really just looking at that, that first year.
It's just
the 5
imaginary
years
numbers.
Rolls into the actual budget itself.
Yeah, it's just imaginary numbers. Just imagine.
Right, and I see a lot of things on the agenda asking for more money. Can we move forward on this? Another study, another this, another this. I mean, and I will be talking about some of that on the comments, but there's a lot of money being spent in this agenda. We really have it. Should we move forward with it? So, but I will, and I'm sure others will be talking about that.
So I will state my hopes for this year is that we are good stewards and take care of everything we have and not lose anything, and that we have a plan for growth. Because I think standing still is the same as dying. That we have to have a plan to move forward while we're responsible and take care of what we have.
Yeah, we definitely need to start exploring ways to generate revenue by adding on a police department without an offsetting revenue, specific dedicated revenue. It's all coming out of the general fund. And so we've got to watch that very carefully.
Well, and some of the
Guy in the back.
Do you have a current agenda for this meeting? Because what's up there is for plenty of it.
It's this piece here. It's just a workshop. So is there one up there?
No.
We are
You want
6 minutes
tonight's
away
meeting, the
from
6
the
o'clock meeting?
actual meeting.
Should be there.
The agenda for, yeah.
If not, we'll have it there by 6 o'clock.
Oh, the real party.
24, we did this exercise with Ben Walsenburg. And he gave us a list of 22 items on there. And I forwarded you that. Are things that we don't talk about any longer. Obviously one of them was the utility billing. That was a big part of it, but Marcha, they owe us money. It's like everybody who owes us money. So if I have a vision, my vision is that everybody who owes the city of Walsenburg pays the city of Walsenburg, that we get what we should get, and that we don't just keep kicking things down the road, ignoring things, losing on everything that we do. I mean, that's my vision.
We need to develop a kind of a tickler system internally in our city clerk function so that contracts, leases, all those things that have a specific
Gotta tickle it, boys and girls.
You know, we're flagging it somewhere. We're tracking it. There is some place where we have a list of, you know, here's this agreement. This is what's coming due in 2026. Things that are expiring or things that need to be renewed. Those we need a master list.
So number 6 on that list was staffing levels, gas, water, and sewer need to review in 120 days. That was 2 years ago.
Well,
we're probably in a worse situation than we were then. Like, that's what I mean. Like, we just need to make some. You know, but things keep getting added to the list that we didn't foresee during budget season.
So again, once city council establishes what our priorities are, we will be reporting on those. That will be our focus. Anything outside of that needs, if council wants to undertake that activity, you got to add it to the list. Prioritize it. But getting a thorough inventory of all the properties that the city owns, the status of those properties, those types of things. I believe we have all the data. It's just not in a very user-friendly format. For example, all municipal owned property, we should have all the municipal properties. Now we got lists from the assessor of what they say is ours, but we need to check the assessors against. So it's just things like that. I mean, it sounds a little elementary, but you know, the last several years, we just haven't had consistency in guidance and how things are evaluated, how they're presented to council, how, you know, we need to be able to answer, you know, the financial impact of something. But we need a little bit of time to actually thoroughly vet it, write up a report for it, and then present it to the council. So when you say, do we have money for that? I need to know, you know, before the meeting, where that potential source of funding can be, or if we're going to recommend that you not do something, we need to justify why we're not.
I mean, I would like to see, I mean, I'm always the one who asks, is it in the budget? Like an expenditure, here it is in the budget, this is where it's at, or it wasn't in the budget, but it's an urgent need or whatever.
I agree.
It shouldn't have to be something that's asked for every time, and the gloss over answer is, yeah, it's in there.
And again, it gets back to how we're reporting the information, making sure that you're all comfortable that these reports are giving you the information that you need. A lot of this is we gotta clean up a lot. We gotta stabilize our functions and then get into a repetition and consistently update the data.
It's Jim's.
Thank you.
All right, so is this kind of
yes.
What's council's thoughts on this?
I think it's a good blueprint.
I think, you know, we're gonna have to have other work sessions, maybe even if it's a particular subject that maybe 2 council members are very interested in, maybe it's more of a subcommittee.
Was that GCM
And then
just walking?
presenting,
GCM, just
you know,
go
the
walk
body
it
work
in
to the
there.
rest of the council.
I like knowing your vision and your plans, and what we might be able to hope to happen.
All righty.
Thank you.
I'd love to see the utility billing get tackled once and for all.
Yeah, what I envision is a future work session where we show an example bill and have our people walk everyone through it. This is what's in this bill. This is what this means. And at that time, if there's questions, you know, why aren't put answers for you.
Well, my concern is just, you know, the memo that was attached to the agenda tonight, and it said all these credits. What are those credits? What do they total? How do they total? I think it, you know, all along, like the utility commission, they worked hard to change those rates. And, you know, I was one who opposed it, saying, we don't know what our new rates did. And now I don't know what our new rates did because it was so inconsistent and wrong, and we refunded and we like, I don't even know anymore what, you know, and what did that do to the city of Walsenburg's position on our debt?
We're gonna have an answer for you. But yeah, I mean, we're already seeing some fruits of making some changes in our utility billing functions. But the finance folks, they'll present on that at the meeting on the 7th.
We're about ready to wrap it up. It's time for the next meeting.
Yes, sir. I'll move forward. I'll work with Mr. Hyatt on a resolution and or put some verbiage in and try to get that to you.
You want anything else from us, or are you just waiting for the next workshop?
Just if, you know, after you've had spent a little bit of time digesting some of this stuff, if you have any additional questions, give me a call, shoot me an email. If there's something I missed, let me know. Because this is just what I've observed. That's what, this is a product of my observations in working with some of the staff over the last 30 days. That's what this is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody need a break before we go to the next meeting? 5 minutes, then we'll start. Oh, yeah, it's on my face.
Oh, snap.
I have an extra one.
5-minute hot mic.
Not bad, you? Good. Gary talked with CDOT about putting some signage for businesses open.
Okay.
So
I think you got somebody impersonating you. That's what I think you got.
No snap.
I think you got somebody impersonating you. What was the point of ending the meeting? That what was the point of ending the meeting?
They want to make you work for it.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I find interesting is the fact that he's talking a lot about the police department.
Yeah, well, and you notice how he mentioned the fact that they enacted a police department that they didn't have an offset for revenue for. So basically, they started something new that they had to pay out for, but they couldn't afford it to begin with, but they did it anyways.
Yeah. Funny how that works, right?
It's on credit. Everything's good.
Imaginary budget.
The stuff's imaginary. Like all the numbers are imaginary. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to see over here.
The things you see at a city meeting sometimes, guys.
Well, like I said in the chat, I'd love to see what their debt ratio is. I mean, if they're having issues and he's talking about how they started the department, I'm curious how far in debt they actually are.
Oh.
I don't know how far they are, but
All right, got it. And then we bring this up and then we put this like that.
You knew
And
this?
then
Okay.
there you go.
The time is now 6:04. I'd like to call the regular scheduled meeting of January 20th to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bazzani,
Here.
Veronica Mays. Here. Ronald Stafford,
Here.
Jennifer Novak. Here. Fred Ecker,
Here.
Don Martinez.
Here.
Pamela Brightweiser.
Yeah.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can you stand for the pledge, please? Brad, would you lead us?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
That was just a workshop.
I'll
There
move
was
to
no
approve
like
tonight's
real
agenda.
public
Motion
comment.
by
This
Ronald
is the
Stafford.
actual
I second.
meeting. There's
Second
gonna
by
be
Jennifer
public
Novak.
comment coming up.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. No consent agenda tonight. Approve the minutes. Two of them on the 16th, one the regular meeting, one the special meeting.
I'll move to approve the December 16, 2025 city council regular meeting minutes.
I got a motion by Ronald Stafford,
Second.
second by Don Martinez. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
I'll move to approve the December 16, 2025 city council special meeting minutes.
I got a motion by Ronald Stafford,
Second.
second by Pam Brightweiser. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Administrator reports, Mr. Pacheco, you have anything?
No, sir, not today.
Good. Any questions of Mr. Pacheco? We'll move on to Public Works. Mr. Harriman, you have anything to add to your enclosure? Any questions?
Question. So in there, I seen a $5,300 bill. I don't know if it's a bill or if it's just a request or what exactly it is, but I thought anything over 5,000 had to come to council for approval. So I'm questioning, is this something that needs to be approved? Is it something that's already been purchased?
Approved by Mr. Galusha and purchased.
So again, anything over $5,000 is supposed to come to council for approval.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have a significant deadline on getting this installed. So I approved it for this amount with the understanding that it would come to you for approval or for ratification of my approval on that. So I'm asking for a motion on that.
It's not on the agenda for that.
Yeah, it's later in the gym. Yep, under Cornick,
So my other question is, why wouldn't this come from Mr. Pacheco, since Mr. Pacheco is our city administrator?
We're still in the transition phase. A lot of the things that he's been working on since he first started here, new projects I'm taking the lead on. And so as we're cycling out of a lot of the stuff John's working on, I'm becoming more intimately involved in some of these projects. And again, it's going to get back to, you know, we need to change how we're reporting the information. Just throwing everything at you in, you know, in an attachment may not necessarily be the best way to get you the information you need. You just got to have consistency and again, have enough lead time on some things and plan a little bit better. So we're not so reactionary. This is what I would view as it's an essential thing. We got to do it. John took the best approach.
And is this purchase for the ditch elevation that's also in the report? Like, it's hard to follow. It's just like, here's invoices, here's maps, here's this, like, there's no clear, like, what it's for.
That's, again, it gets back to just throwing you every document that we have isn't a good way to get city
You can bring it
council
down.
the information, the
Down.
essential information.
So I'm asking the
Not
question.
Zoom.
What was
Down.
your question?
The question is, this purchase, is it for the
Yeah,
other
down.
documentation that's in there for the ditch elevation?
There you go.
I don't
Good,
know. It's
right there.
associated with that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
down.
it's,
So this is a flume that's required by the state to be installed in the ditch
Stop screwing
on
around.
the culvert. And so I went online to try to find a 5-foot flume, a 60-inch flume. They would not accept fiberglass flume. The cheapest fiberglass flume I could find was $14,000. Any steel flumes were $21,000 and up. So he found this flume for $5,300. It has to be fabricated. It's still week time. We only have 6 weeks to get this flume installed. March 1st to get this flume installed by the state. So
what we have it on.
things that have to happen on time.
I didn't make the $5,000 rule, so I'm just asking. I mean, I'm just trying to get back to that consistency of who does what and how it happens. So I'm just asking the questions. I'm just doing it. That's what I like to do. Thank you.
Anything else on the Public Works report? Move on down to the Chief of Police. Chief is not here. Come in.
Are there any questions on the chief's
Any questions?
presentation of materials?
I guess I would like to know what we're meeting with the Trinidad Police Department about.
We met with Trinidad Police Department today because they have a new police chief. And we are all in the same region, it's according to post and law enforcement. So he just came here from Oklahoma. Him because our agency collaborate a lot, we overlap, we use their dogs in that homicide we had to help find the guns. So it was good to meet him, let him see our face, we can see his face, instead of when we call for help for something, it's not just a phone call, they can put a face to it.
And that makes sense. I mean, to just say we met with them, we can have, I mean, I didn't know what that meant. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on. Anything on the city attorney's enclosure? No questions. Finance report's been pushed off till next month, 2/3, February 3rd. Finally. Please.
Yeah, I'll speak to that one. I received a letter from Jackie Sykes at the Housing Authority. Gina and I met with her, I think it was last week, to try to explore ways of collaboration. And we know that one of the hot button issues with them has been the utility billing. And my conversations with her centered around how we acknowledge that we've got screw ups in our billing. We're trying to rectify those. We're going to go back through all the materials and try to, shake this out so everybody's comfortable with the final numbers. And so I would just receive and file that report from Debbie Barnes. If you have any questions, give me a call, but we'll be working with the Housing Authority to get this particular issue papered up. Approval from council for something, we'll certainly have a work session to brief you on that. But I think we're going to be able to administratively deal with this particular issue.
Okay, so that's, go ahead.
So outside of that issue, I just think that it's inappropriate for this to have been in the packet. That's just my opinion. But there's things in here about recommendations, what needs to be done. I mean, sewer calculations, that's an ordinance. Like that's, you can't just change that because that's what one person wants to do to make it simple. Increase late fees, chart, like all of these things, like, I mean, it sounds like it's coming from a consultant and that's what should be done. Like, there's been no discussion from council, there's been no, input from either administrator, assistant administrator, and it's just like, will solve all of our problems. It's no different than saying, if we can get Excel in here to train us, all of our problems will be solved. Like, I mean, I just feel like we always put the cart before the horse. Constantly. And by putting this out there, like I feel.
Well, I think prospectively, Gina and I are going to spend a little bit more time earlier in the week before these deadlines to try to flush out some of these issues. I didn't even have a chance to go over my meeting with the Housing Authority with John and stuff like that. So if there's an error in getting that in the packet, we probably wouldn't include something like that in an actual public document. If there's something that needs to be sent to council, we would send that to you via email.
And these are, if I may.
Go ahead.
These are observations, recommendations. This is not something to take action on.
Yeah, keep in mind our utility building is one of our number one goals to get straightened out, so this is part of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I think it needs more thought process than
I
just
think
putting it
somebody
in,
needs to tell her that while
attaching it
she's
to an
screwing
agenda,
around with
sending
it,
it out
she's
to
fucking
public,
up the feed.
and then we've had no, I mean, the utility commission has never talked about any of this, like, it's there. So, and honestly, I feel that we owe all of these people mentioned in here, whether it's employees, whether it's customers by name, whatever, we owe them an apology for calling them out publicly like this.
I agree.
It was right.
I totally agree. I think it was inappropriate to have this in there.
I'll write a personal letter to each of those individuals. I'll have council take a look at it before I send it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's it on utilities. Go ahead, Ronald.
You said we lost two people. What departments? Did we lose them?
Utility billing and the gas department.
Anything else on utilities?
Yeah, and if any member of council has any questions on anything personnel related, just give me a call.
Okay, we'll move on. Next up is citizens' comments. Who do you have first?
First, we have.
Yep.
Jim Hilliker with Bud Hut. I'm just curious, I don't know who to talk to. I kind of talked to John a little bit, so I think we might have had something. I can go to another meeting, but this construction out here that we got going on is killing our sales. And I'm wondering, I tried to get a hold of the guy that's running it, which is Shane Ferguson of DOT up in Denver. I sent him an email, no response. My issue is they're working at the top of the hill by First Choice. They got the whole road blocked. The whole road's one lane and it kills sales. If they would just block off what they're working on, then it would help a lot. But they're blocking off the whole road. They've got like 3 guys down at one end and there's no work going on down there. So the thing is, we've got 2 businesses. We got the propane place and we've got our place, and that's the only ones being affected by it. So I don't know if I need to go to the DOT meeting. Maybe this ain't the place for it. But I mean, if our revenue gets killed, so does the sales that's going to the city. And our revenue is about in half compared to what it's been.
We don't have a whole lot of control over
I know.
state highway.
You don't. That's why
I can meet with, I know Jason, who's the superintendent on that project, the contractor. I may talk to him and see if he can do something.
Okay. All right. And then there's a meeting next week, I think, DOT, right?
The TPR meeting.
Yeah, the 29th, 29th.
Okay.
29th, the TPR meeting.
And I'll be there too. So, okay.
Yeah, it's here at the 6:25.
Okay. Perfect.
So
all right. Thank you.
All the big dogs will be there.
That'd be perfect.
That'll be a good place to bring it up.
And I understand, you know, how they've got to do the road, but I mean, to block off the whole damn road when they're only working in one little section is kind of makes no sense, but I guess that's our taxpayer money at work.
I went through there today and I thought the same thing, so.
I just think that they could like not hold up so much traffic on one side or the other.
Sure.
Because then it gets, I mean, when they do let it go, and then if there's a train, my God, it's like all the way up Walsen.
Well, and they're
Our locals can drive around and get to us, but they can't drive around when they got the whole road.
Stop them
blocked
with
and
them.
only working on the one. So that's my issue.
we'll bring that up when we have our meeting. And I noticed they kind of let their trucks go in and out and hold you up longer. So
They do.
I don't think they should be able to do that. Well, we can bring that up in that TPR meeting.
Dime Sandoval. Dime Sandoval, DEEMAESSANDOVAL. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, administrators. The power to question is the basis of all human progress. 2026 seems to be repeating 2025, repeating repeating 2023. Financials were supposed to be the last meeting of the month. I know next is a special meeting, the golf course and the financials from what I listened to, but what a missed opportunity to give us all a week to review those. Billing issues are brought up via a memo from Debbie Barnes with this agenda. I will never understand how this fiasco goes on and on. Hundreds of cities use Cassell for their fund accounting and financial management. They have been in business since 1978. They serve over 1,000 municipalities. 2 employees were fired because of mishandling of personal utility accounts. Let's be honest. Someone had to assist with that preferential billing. And employees who work with that system each and every day were aware of the preferential billing, yet no one said a word. We were never told who else received preferential billing, only there were hundreds. Did that include other employees? We will never know. Bring Calvin back. Sounds like the gas department is failing. I'm beginning to believe he was no more guilty in his billing than others are guilty in their incompetence. Is there truly an HR person overseeing personnel issues? It makes me wonder. Speaking of preferential treatment, was the water hall account for Joe Ferris ever reviewed and billing changed? I had not, up until tonight, mentioned his name personally, but after seeing others called out personally by a city employee on the city agenda, it seems to be an okay practice. Code enforcement has once again gone by the wayside. Nothing is happening with vehicles and weeds, property strewn with furniture, on and on and on. It goes on and on. Now we are looking at an SRO. The PD budget is upside down. The chief has said they are not a revenue producing department. So where will the funds come from? The ongoing saga with the golf course. Will the members of the board be present at next week's meeting? They show up to ask for $15,000. I hope they show up to explain what happened to the money. Who was making $200,000 salaries? The P&Z meeting, how embarrassing with the fingerpointing at the already paid consultant. No accountability. The survey questions, do they know their audience? Carmen worked on the comp plan. She had it all lined out, but it was Carmen, so let's not take a look at it and see what she put together. Another rate study at the tune of $19,000. To what end do we do these studies?
Okay. Wrap it up.
That was my, okay. Show first what the rate changes have brought in, side-by-side comparison. People, businesses continue to hit financial home runs at the expense of Walsenburg and the Walsenburg taxpayer while the city has not left home plate. Stop the wasteful spending. Facts about concentration camps. 1 in 6 detainees are. If these are truly criminals, do you want them released in Walsenburg? I hope those in charge saying it's not me.
3 minutes are up, ma'am. Thank you.
Dakota Connell? Hello, Dakota Connell.
There's going to be a sooner than we all think when local law enforcement and people in positions of power are going to be posed with the question, are you a good human being? ICE is coming. We have a concentration of people of color or immigrants in our population, and we indeed have a concentration camp that is funded. So make no mistake, they will come. Now I ask everyone, and in particularly local law enforcement, what you will do. For example, in Chicago, 24 local police were disregarded and ignored when they warned ICE that they didn't have gas masks. So ICE proceeded anyway and sprayed them with chemical agents, as well, of course, as the peaceful protesters executing their First Amendment rights, which Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff and Policy for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor, law enforcement, you must surrender. So what will you do when you're target 2? ICE is killing people in the streets and in detainment. They're sexually assaulting people and physically assaulting them. They're gassing children with chemicals. They're T-boning people with their cars and kidnapping them. These are real life scenarios happening every single day since Trump started all of this. What are you going to do? Because I promise you, you will have to choose, and probably in an instance, whether you are going to either ruin someone's life or take it. Whatever you decide to do in your role of trust and leadership, I promise you, the people will remember if you choose the side of the pedophile, fascist, white supremacist, Nazi traitors. You will be held accountable, whatever you decide, because you might have to risk your life regardless. Evil is always possible, but goodness must be intentional. So what will you do?
Thank you.
David Resch?
Oh, I'm David Rush. One question for you, Gary. With regards to, the waste pump station out there, what is the red light that's flashing at night? Flashing Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night.
David, can you answer that?
It's an alarm.
Oh, there's an alarm.
Okay. I didn't know how serious it was.
Roy gets the same alarms at the other treatment plant.
Okay.
They're tied together.
Yeah, we had a software issue.
Pardon?
We had a software issue.
Okay. Don. I understand that you work, and sometimes it may be hard to get to plan and zone, but if it's a real imposition for you, then maybe we need to have somebody else so that you are not reach apart when we can't make it. It's really important because there have been a couple of times when we came within one not having a quorum, and all I'm asking is if you can't make it on a regular basis, I understand. Well, you work and you work pretty hard at what you do. Maybe we need someone else to take your place, if that's okay with you.
It took this because there wasn't enough people on this council at the time. And I'd be happy to let somebody else have it that wants it. Or I'll keep on doing it when I can get there. I take care of my parents.
I understand. Yeah, you have some real serious responsibility.
Best I can.
Yeah, just keep in mind, this is a citizen's comment. You can comment, but no questions and answers.
Okay.
I will check with the rest of the council, see if somebody's interested in that. If you.
All right, thank you very much.
Daniel Connell?
I'm Daniel Connell. Well, first of all, I didn't pay much attention to the business as usual because at this point it's kind of irrelevant. This is the poorest county in Colorado because our city government is inept and probably corrupt. My home value has dropped 7% since I moved here a year and a half ago. It's probably because of that. It isn't because the mountains got uglier. I wish you would do a better job. Let's talk. The city has totally failed to keep the public informed about your interactions with Core Civic. Even if you did, we would have no reason to believe anything you might say. You hired a police chief with allegations of false statements. He hired officers with accusations of false statements. Only a liar hires a liar who hires liars. Cooperation with Core Civic and ICE. 30% of Huerfano County is Hispanic. They're coming. You can best believe that. We have every reason to believe the camp is coming. ACLU said it was funded. You probably have done everything in your power to see to it. As far as law enforcement cooperation with unlawful human trafficking without due process, it's a given. You've already been told to surrender. Might as well. You're not enforcing the law. They have charged more people who were assaulted than the perpetrators of the assaults at our peaceful protests. I'll finish with this. Do you think when Trump is gone and the people who enable the crimes against humanity here will be given a pass? Do you think that happened in Europe? Antifa defeated the Nazis? They won't come looking for me. They're going to come looking for you. And you may want to pack a bag.
Pack a bag, bitches.
Well, and we have proof of this that they.
Carmen Lara, Lara.
I'll finish that comment later.
Mentioned that in FYI, the minutes have not been posted on the website since November. You can find them in the, like the current meeting, but they're not posted. And I know that the January 6th meeting had issues. Is it possible to ask Mr. Craddock for a copy of his recording of the 6th meeting? Won't be official, but it will be something, and maybe you could make some minutes out of it at least to let the public know what happened at that meeting. Dee mentioned the comp plan. So I worked very hard to combine the strategic and comp plan that went nowhere. I think it would have cost the city a whole lot less money if they would have at least looked at it to see what it said. Anyway, moot point now, I guess. And there's too much money being spent in this agenda. I already mentioned that. I would say no on Black Hills yet until you get more information. You're supposed to have another presentation, I thought. No on the rate study. Rate studies have been done and they go nowhere. And being that apparently the rates weren't changed until recently, you have nothing to go by to see if it worked. So I think you need to wait at least another 6 months to see if it works before you go changing stuff again. The ranch house, there's no copy of the lease, so we don't really know what it's saying. The muni judge, I'm not opposed to him, but it doesn't say what the rate of pay is. For that, the packets, I sent all of you a copy of the council meeting that approved that. The direction was to have a packet by Friday at 3. So I hope you can start doing that. The new rates, I still think they're being applied incorrectly. Maybe some of them were corrected, but I don't know. Has a golf course been changed from residential to commercial? The RV line, has that come up to be changed? Because that was supposed to be done like 3 years ago. And why were the tiers removed? Was that a part of it? Because Debbie Barnes' note says that the tiers have been removed for the water. So I don't know about that. People are still being billed when the water is turned off. 1038 says that it's abandoned after 10 years or 6 months, but it's never been addressed. Mr. Hyatt sent a letter saying anybody who doesn't have a flow of water does not get charged the fees. And I think a lot of people are still doing that. These are good points now. I like this Mr. V Hill for what he did. That was a great thing that he did. So
You 3 minutes are up, wrap it up.
real quick, Peakview letters. I don't know if y'all read them, but they were wanting the pool to get opened, which I appreciate. Now, if we can only find a way to make that happen. What about the 1% money or was it the 5% where they were supposed to have like a youth thing? Can you take some money from that? Anyway, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Mark Craddock?
I'm sorry, I was going to speak, but I'm a pensioner, so I just wanted to say.
No worry.
Yes, I tape every meeting at home, as you guys have brought. Over Zoom. No, the tapes are not perfect. I've got a few time tabs and the like. I did provide one last set of tapes to her because she wanted to listen to some things. I think she passed them on to you, didn't she?
No, I did not.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
did.
share it with them.
You're welcome to them. Just understand that they're work products, not public documents. And they also don't mitigate anyone who might come down the pike and want to sue you. So I'm happy to help you dodge the bullet, but the school district twice in the last 2 years has been sued by a crazy lawyer for things such as forgetting to turn on their tape recorder for the 30 seconds of meeting after an executive session when they adjourned. So, I can certainly help you with information in this case, but yeah, you don't want to make any kind of habit of that. I just want to emphasize that those tapes are my work product. They're not horrible. If they are, you can't have them. But otherwise, I would be happy.
They are.
I'd be happy to email them to you otherwise.
Thank you.
They'll post it on YouTube. He tapes them also. FYI, yes.
Next.
I think, is there anyone else in the room? Okay, so online we have
A
Stacy
good
Becker.
citizen on YouTube. He tapes them too. Good
evening, City Council.
Yeah, you people.
Just a couple of quick things on the water hole numbers, Mr. Harriman. What are the units? 9,544.43. 315 transactions. I'm ignorant in that area, so I'd appreciate some information there. Black Hills Energy, item number 5, the corrective action section. BHE is under no obligation to make any repairs or to bring customer into compliance with any laws or regulations. So there's a 30-day window where they can make recommendations that have to come to us anyways that we would do internally if we had that problem. And then in addition to the Black Hills Energy, I do believe we should be seeing the T&E rates ahead of time. I think it would be prudent to see how much they were going to charge hourly to do some of the stuff that they've listed in there as, check the appendix for what our costs are going to be. And then on the water rates, Mr. Mayor, should we be firing up that utility commission again? Review existing rates with the goal of setting suggested updates by the April meeting, maybe April or May at least, somewhere in there. And on to those letters. It seems that the population not yet eligible to vote has put their 23 cents on the water park being fixed up. I went through every single one of those letters, and boy, I tell you, looks like you got a directive. It's like, get on it. One last little serious thing. Section 2. -40 illustrates the responsibilities of the position, to including being responsible for all departments, Mr. Administrator. So the question earlier today, you are responsible for all departments, and regardless of where the budget line items come from, you're where the buck stops before it gets to mayor and council. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Robert Ellsworth?
Hey, good evening, everybody, and thanks for letting me say something. And it'll be on the lighter side. Coming back from Lathrop Park today, going eastbound on 160, I came into town and I'm just noticing that the sign that says Walsenburg, that's looking really shabby. So I know spend more money, but I don't know if that's city-owned sign that comes in or whatever. But maybe we either can take it completely down or get a new one to put up. That just looks pretty rough coming into town. I'd say pretty simple. Thank you, guys.
Carol McCaskey?
Hi, very simple. Carol McCaskey, MECASKEY. This is a strange request, but I would like to ask that the person that controls the camera stop moving the camera left, right, up, down, back and forth, in and out. It makes it very difficult for those of us who are watching remotely to watch city council. I don't know what's going on there, but it has settled down now, but please stop it. Set it up before the meeting starts and call it done. Thank you. That's it.
Cynthia Cresswell?
Hi, again, Cynthia Cresswell, CRESSWELL. In regards to the video, recordings for the meetings, if that particular problem has not been resolved, is there any anticipated resolution date so that the city stays in compliance and we don't start getting fines for that? Secondly, yes, thank you, Gina. You had the camera perfect earlier and then you played with it and we were all over the place and back. So you had it perfect at the beginning, ma'am. Secondly, I had a question to the CDPHE civil penalty for affluent violations. This shows that we've negotiated a settlement for fines that range from 20 to 24. If we are in compliance, then that's fine. If we are not, what will the fine ratio be from 24 until we are in compliance? And this is the wastewater treatment plant. So again, I will bring up the drinking water that we are still in violation of, that is projected to be corrected as of July of 2026. And again, what fines have we accrued to date for that one since it's been non-compliant since 2020? So thank you.
I think that's it.
Okay, no presentations tonight, no public hearings.
Finished business. New business. We have proclamation 2601. I'd like to read it. This is for Randy. Oh, okay, right? All right, yeah, wait. Proclamation 26-01 proclaiming March 4th, 2026 as Randy Vigil Day in the city of Walsenburg, Colorado. Whereas the Walsenburg City Council has the right to recognize employees and citizens for their outstanding service to the community. And whereas on March 4th, 2026, Randy Vigil will have been a dedicated employee of the city of Walsenburg for exactly 2 years. And whereas 2025, Sheriff Bruce Newman attempted to arrest a wanted criminal, and whereas Sheriff Newman was injured after the attempted arrest turned violent, and whereas Randy intervened and helped subdue the criminal and gain control of a desperate situation. And whereas the city, Walsenburg City Council wishes to recognize Randy Vigil for his bravery in recognizing and intervening in a hazardous situation. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the mayor and city council of the city of Walsenburg, Colorado, that the 4th day of March 2026 is proclaimed as Randy Vigil Day in Walsenburg, and urges all citizens to recognize that day for the bravery of Randy Vigil. Introduced, read, and adopted this 20th day of January 2026. Need action on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation 26.
Most.
Second.
Oh, you gonna read it? Nah, go ahead. I got a motion by Don Martinez, second by Veronica Mays. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Randy. Action on, okay. Hey, this is your moment.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm sure the sheriff appreciates you too.
A special day for me and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you have a lovely evening, okay?
Next, action on 2026-0109 GMS memo concerning wastewater treatment facilities. John, can you explain this a little bit?
So this is the memo that was included in the request pay for the Energy Impact Fund. So you need to be able to sign that pay request for the Energy Impact. I think you need action on that.
This is addition to the grant?
This is it's a pay request for the grant for the wastewater treatment plant. I'm not sure that you do need action on that.
I think there's a change order of over $5,000.
Change order, you will need action on the change order. I don't think you need action on the pay request.
Okay.
It just needs to be signed by the mayor.
Okay, it says action.
That's my fault.
Okay, we don't need action on that one?
Even file,
All right.
if you felt you had to have a motion.
That also has no problem. I'll sign that. Okay, action on Black Hills Energy proposal for firm natural gas system operation and technical service agreement.
Speak on that?
Yes, please.
So this is, I would ask you to not take action on this tonight. I got this from Black Hills, sent it to the attorney. The attorney sent his comments back. I sent his comments to Black Hill with some changes, and Black Hills has it right now. So there will be some changes to this agreement for your consideration. As Mr. Pacheco mentioned earlier, we're down to one person in the gas department. We're going to meet with some of the other employees that transferred out of the gas department to see if they would be interested in going back and retooling that department and getting a couple more people in there. Or if they are adamant to stay where they're at in the other departments, then we're going to have to push forward with the recommendation to contract out operations.
Not hire
Not hire new employees?
We don't have anybody that's operator qualified right now. A contract person, and so it would take us, I think, about a year to get operator qualified, LQ'd, what they call it. Maybe less than that, but it's a long time to get a person qualified to run that department.
Yes, and the current operator who was a former employee, they're he pretty well recommends. He don't know what the answer is. He wants to be against putting this out until we figure out how to run it, basically.
So either we'll come to you at the February 3rd meeting with a recommendation to look at this contract again or approve this contract, because it'd be nice to have this taken care of by March, or we're going to be able to retool and get the people back in there and then hire a couple extras so that we have full coverage on that department.
What date was that again?
I think it's the February 3rd meeting, and then the effective date of the agreement as submitted is March 1st.
How's that gonna affect budgeting for the department? I'm sure you do that.
Oh, and just in an initial look at this, we spend about $600,000 on gas itself, and $400 in overhead. $1.7 million budget. That 700 is a lot of that is vehicles, personnel costs inside the department. That money, that's roughly 700,000 would be saved. Probably a little bit less than that. 600,000, I would say, saved by not operating the department ourselves. Correct operation.
Go to that contract.
No, that contract, $100,000 a year. That's it. So there's a lot more things that are going into this puzzle, right? So we have miles of gas line that was installed in 1968 that has issues. That the cost of replacing that line, total replacement is about $2 million a mile, so that's about $64 million liability sitting there. There's an option of tying on to a couple of different stations to CIG closer to Walsenburg and either selling that to Trinidad or to Aguilar or something, and getting rid of that gigantic liability and using the savings from contracting the operation to pay for a new tap through CIG and all the associated equipment.
When I remember hearing from Black Hills before, that it seemed like what they were offering was basic, that they would be far away but would show up, but there would be a lot of things that they'd be coming for us that they would not have covered under the contract.
There are some things that's we have that we have not got a letter of engagement on yet that will guide us in some of that, because he took a look. We met with him last week and he took a look at the agreement, and he said that there was a couple of things that concerned him. So we want to get a little bit better look at that agreement from the consultant.
I'm afraid that outsourcing means that all of the sales tax that we have coming in ends up leaving us and never comes back, that we just bleed money from our community that way. That
build this.
Yeah, so they would do everything, all the maintenance on the system, including reading the meters. And then we would do the billing and we would do the collection. All the money comes to us still. That's the change to that.
they wouldn't employ our people. They wouldn't employ people.
To employ.
They wouldn't be trying to employ people here locally.
They may, because they have contracted with Aguilar. So they're operating the Aguilar system now. So with Aguilar and Walsenburg, and there's a potential for Trinidad, there could be another employee in Southern Colorado for them.
But it's on the table, it's basically tabled until we
Yeah, so please don't take any action on this tonight. We'll have more information for you by,
So when we first brought Black Hills to us, it was for them to buy it, take it, whatever. This is not that. This is just for them to just do typically the maintenance or the operations of it
and this would,
for a fee.
and this is a
So-
1-year contract.
Okay, and so you had them here, they did some presentations publicly and they were set to do one more. And then it was like, no, that's off the table. We're not talking about it. We're not doing this anymore. So can we set that up knowing now what this contract is and have that publicly?
Tentatively scheduled to be here on the 3rd.
If that's the same that you want. I mean, is there any way that we could do, like, not in a council meeting, a special just Black Hills present this to public so that then council has time to really kind of not just present it and make a decision? I mean, I feel kind of what Jerry said, things get rammed down your throat and you have to make a decision.
Can you put the decision to the 17th?
You could, you absolutely
That
could.
gives you 2 weeks.
So so we have no one that's operator qualified right now, right? Except for the retired previous employee. So if we have an issue, we have a liability. So this is something that is going to happen pretty soon.
I'm asking if we can have some kind of special public meeting next week.
You can, I won't be here.
It's 15 days, doesn't it? Well, it's not really a public hearing, but.
I'm just saying to gather information, like I missed the first public meetings in the first place. And then it was like, oh, that we're scrapping that, it's off the table. And now it's back on the table.
So that 1-year contract would be while we put someone in place.
That would be a 1-year contract for them to operate, and then you're gonna get to evaluate whether they get to continue operating or you want to bring it back in-house.
Having things leave house and come back into house, like our police department, ended up being very pricey.
And I think that's the case here too.
Won't be cheap.
And so does this need to go through the citizens since you're going to outsource a municipality?
No, it's not for sale. If it went for sale, it'd have to go to a vote.
Okay.
Is this why the employee quit because of the Black Hills? No, on the agenda? No.
Kind of the other way
I
around.
was scared. You think, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I think the other way around. It didn't want the responsibility and
Okay.
so we ended up with a retired guy basically, and we're just scrambling to have a crew. And so we're looking at this as an option until we can decide on whether we can put a crew together or not.
So I guess I just have to agree, though, what you spoke to earlier. The runway needs to be longer.
I totally agree. We're fortunate that we had the conversation with Black Hills previously. So this was on the table so that we can react quickly. This isn't something that, I mean, it was off the table. We weren't even looking at this any longer until the department imploded.
Was it off the table because the city of Walsenburg wanted it off the table? Or was it off the table because Black Hills wanted it off the table?
It was, what I had understood from different council people was this was not, the previous proposal was to operate short-term, take it to the voters and sell a system utility. That was basically off the table from what I understood from council. So that's why I called Black Hills and said, drop it,
But we never had that discussion.
not formally.
I mean, that's news to me. Like, I didn't know why it was scrapped. Like, I personally just never had this. Okay. Well, I don't know who else. You're saying council. I don't know who else spoke of that.
So move the decision to the 17th?
Man,
That shouldn't hurt us.
their internet is junk.
Okay, any other questions?
I mean, I think we could be ready for a decision on the 3rd if we just were able to get information before, but what do we want to do?
I'm thinking they need some time to figure out whether they can put a crew together or not. That's what I'm giving them, that time. And then we're gonna be the later time, after they decide which way they want to go.
Together, they,
Yeah.
okay.
Walsenburg, we don't know that yet, so. If we can put a crew together, this is probably a moot point. So there's no sense addressing it if it's gonna go away again. That's how I read it. Okay, anything else?
Bring Calvin back.
Rate study, what's that?
Bring Calvin back. Knew the job.
Brought everybody else back.
Doug kind of agree with that if, if we forgive him of his trespass and wants the job. I mean, we're all human, we make mistakes.
You should apply for the job. So no action, we move on.
We're up to the rate study. For Galusha?
This is information, if you choose to look at a rate study, I went out and tried to get, one bid. Just to look at what it would, what it would cost, and they kind of a short number because they felt that all they were doing was trying to simplify what was on the bills and not change. But personally, I think it's too high for that simple of a task.
It looked like somebody could make $300 an hour for doing the same thing that our utility commission attempted and not have anything different from what we came up with.
I think we are more than capable of coming up with a rate study on our own. I mean, we went through Mahelich and that bunch and Scott. Got nowhere. And waited years. I mean, it's time to get this done. So, but I think
And I'm hopeful that in this whole finance overhaul and everything, that the finance department can give, whether it's the utility commission or whoever, better information. Because I mean, I think that was half the battle with the utility commission is they didn't have the right information to start. And what was given to them, I don't really know if it was. And again, we don't know what the true outcome of the last rate increase we did, because that was substantial. And we also did the water increase for water haul. And what's the outcome of that?
When we wait for that information though, after a certain period, that's my understanding of the money on that's been put towards the indebtedness and stuff to get the actual numbers of where it's put us.
We were dealing with 2024 audited numbers.
I'm saying to pay an outside company and not even that kind of money and then not even give them the right information.
Right.
So.
I think with our finance people and the expertise we have in-house, I think we can do a rate study.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
Don't you agree, Pam?
I agree.
Okay.
Remember again, repeat that?
I believe with our expertise and talent in-house, we can do our own rate study.
Yes. So it's an action, do we need to just not?
We can just ignore it.
We just,
You don't need to vote it down, do you?
No, we didn't vote down the last one.
Yeah, we'll just bypass it. We'll move on to the next one. It's an action item on Cornick Construction. It's a change order for the wastewater treatment facility. And it's over $5,000, just barely, but it is. So we brought it to council.
What caused the price increase?
Gravity.
It's on
What it is.
every day.
It says.
I'm just saying, like, was it just not bid correctly or did prices go up? What was
I
the?
think they're trying to prioritize.
They had that air leak, if you recall, that settled some stuff, which is over and above the scope of the original work. And so this is what it ended up being. Mr. Harriman, you got anything else to add to that?
Invoices on the last page, the majority is labor. If you think, sure you saw.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a choice. I mean, we hired a contractor to do a job. They got to finish the job. They got to do this part.
Motion to approve the change order for 580867.
We got a motion by Veronica Mays,
Second.
second by Jennifer Novak. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Jennifer Novak, Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
John Martinez,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Gary Vazani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays. Motion passes.
Okay, we'll move on to the CDPHE civil penalty. If you recall, the council appointed Fred Ecker and myself as the negotiators with the CDPHE and to negotiate this fine. It was, a lot of it was the wastewater treatment facility. It took them 3 years to get a bid. And most of the fines were from that. There was some kind of spill out in Northlands that we got pinged on. Anyway, the Colorado Department of Health is good for handing out fines, put it that way. And so the original amount was 80,000 or something, 60-some thousand, 80,000. We got it down to 29.
Do we assume then 25, there's no penalties in 25? Like this was it, 24, we're done?
We can stipulate that to them. My understanding was, because we had that under contract and they finally did start construction, that they're not gonna ping us on that one no more. And we can verify that before we.
I mean, I'm just curious, like, because it says 20 to 24. So, I mean, will this settle it up? We're making the change. There shouldn't be one. Just curious.
There hasn't been any kind of inspection that I know of, so I think we're gonna be complete. We shouldn't, unless there's some kind of spill somewhere else or something goes wrong, but our crews do a good job of keeping everything in line, so
And because we knew this fine was out there over our heads, did we put some money in the budget to cover a possible fine? Well, I guess we don't have a choice, so.
I didn't see it.
Motion to pay.
We got it down to 29. That's all I can.
We can spread it over 3 years too.
Yeah.
Motion to fine at 29,062. I mean, I'll let finance or administrator, probably think it should be paid.
Yeah, I got a motion by Veronica Mays, second by Don Martinez. Any further discussion?
Like follow-up that we're done with fines on this particular issue
This settles us up with the Department of Health.
through 2024. That's what I'm saying. I would just like some clarification. And then if
Through 25, probably.
Mr. Pacheco would follow up, how it's determined if that will be paid over a 3-year period or just if it'll be paid at once.
We'll get you that information.
Thank you.
Yeah, that could be spread over the 3 years.
I know, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
all right.
That's how we're gonna do it.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Anything else?
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Gary Vazani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays, Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
John Martinez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next, action on the ranch house lease.
Who? The tenant?
Deanna Izell.
Is that who the new lease would be for?
What's that?
That's who this new lease would be for.
Yes, well, they're there now and they can be a continuance.
Is the widow of a public servant
Yes,
correct?
yes.
What, who brought this up? Or
Do
why is this in front of us?
The lease is up. The invalid lease is up.
Lease is up.
The lease should have been up a year ago. And I did bring it to the attention in August as I forwarded everybody my email of what I brought back then. Because we're losing money on that property. We lost money on that property. And I brought it up when the lease should, so when it first came to council, we asked our then attorney, not the same attorney we have now, to draft a lease. And the mayor also sent out his response to it too. And when we said that night for the attorney to draft a lease, and they brought it back to us at the next meeting, the then city clerk went ahead and drafted a 2-year lease that the mayor assumed was the lease the attorney did, even though we approved it 2 weeks later. it was only supposed to be for a year and we were supposed to renew at that time. Like, I mean, I felt a year was fair at $500. Now we're in 2 years, that's $12,000. We had a $10,000 claim last year. We've spent $7,500 at least. I've never seen the receipts, even though I've been asking for them. And that's not market value. Even $1,000 isn't.
What are they currently paying?
Huh?
500.
$500.
That part of this was because they were doing a lot of work.
Right, and we agreed to a year, council.
That was why we gave them the $500
for a year
rate at the time, because they were gonna fix up all the previous.
And they did a great job. They did an excellent job. I'm not discounting that at all. Just they need to lose money on city assets.
So, I have a hard time with this because of the situation. She's a newly widowed and, you know.
I brought this in August.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I've heard from several people who work here that there is some evil plan that we're gonna raise the rent to get them out. And this has other evil political, I don't know, motivations behind. So I feel like maybe we raise it to $650 or something, but and I don't
We
know.
have a $10,000 deductible on that property if that happens. So the city, the taxpayers are paying that difference.
And it's not the role of the taxpayers to subsidize housing. It's just not.
It's not, it's market value. I mean, they came here and they asked for this. This council, you a part of it, Mr. Stafford, agreed to a 1-year lease at $500. So we would have discussed this in February of 25 and probably bumped it to a $1,000 a month, which is not even what market value is. Go look around what houses, you rent houses. Go look what houses, ask our administrator. He's been looking for a house. You can't rent a house. This isn't a matter of kicking somebody out or anything. It's a matter of getting what the city, it's a city property. And we're not in the business of subsidized housing.
Yeah, and I'm not for that specifically, but in this case, I think it's a little closer to home because of the rumors circulating that we're trying to kick her out so that we can move someone else in, so that we can do this. And
I mean, I don't understand. Who's telling you these rumors?
the rumor is that you all are trying to get her out so that DMA Sanibel can lease the property and then come on council. Just the rumor.
I got the stupidest thing I've ever heard. My God, I can't believe that he even. Oh, my God.
That's what somebody has told me. So
Is that
Okay, let's stick to this topic.
getting me on?
hey, that's what I was told.
Okay, go rent that house.
Hey, that's what I was.
I don't need to rent a house.
Okay,
Oh, my
give me, but I just don't. I don't feel that.
I think the rent should at least cover the city costs and liabilities on the house. Like if it's not 1,200, if it's 700, if it's whatever, it needs to cover the costs. Cause
The solution suggested 1,000.
Yeah, and
I don't,
I would keep in mind that the city would have been left with a mess. Job of cleaning it up. Back then, our building inspector said he was a contractor. He didn't bid on it, but he said he evaluated it somewhere between 30 and 40,000 to get it fixed.
So I'll make
So
a
we
motion
did get that.
that we approve a year lease, $1,000 a month rent, and a $500 deductible payable at the beginning of that lease. That's my motion.
I got a motion by Veronica Mays.
Second.
Second by Don Martinez. What? Go ahead.
What's this
Discussion?
$500 deductible?
$500 deposit
Oh, deposit. You said deductible. I was like,
on the first. I mean, Brent, you're a landlord. Do you, without taking deposits?
I have.
so can
I don't do it
make
anymore.
a motion to amend Veronica's down to 750?
No,
Yeah,
we
we'd have to
we have to deal with the motion on the floor.
We would just have to
John, do you
vote
have
it
any-
down and then you can make a new.
Yeah.
I'm going off of Mr. Galusha's recommendation.
Oh, we
Go ahead,
can
John.
talk about it now though, huh?
Okay, we got John.
Motion with Deanna today She said that she would go month to month or up to 6 months
Wow.
at 1,000 a month.
Month-to-month leases are never, like, month-to-month leases are usually higher. That's the point. It's a,
There's a motion on the.
Has she,
But we can discuss it now.
Discussion now.
Oh,
Not you though, just us.
she, wanna stay with, with Henry and everything?
I don't think these are discussions.
I was asking,
My theory about market value though is with the shortage of housing, is the city gonna participate in overpriced housing because there's nothing available? Rather than what the value is based on what people here can afford to pay. Is there a city employee that could afford $1,000 a month rent? 1,500?
Housing is.
I didn't say that it was.
In order,
Pam has the floor.
you should be having to
Point of order.
out a second.
We had
We have
a,
a second.
Second.
Not a second.
Yeah,
Second it.
I just made a comment on the deduct. I thought it was.
it might have said deductible.
Deductible.
That was my error.
I also agree that we should get a deposit. It'd be interesting to see what would happen if you doubled the deposit back if they left it move-in ready, where we had no expense for somebody else to move in.
Well, they're leaving it definitely in a better than they found it. I'll just.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I am,
Think that-
Good on that deal.
and I don't know how we ignore the fact that she's the widow of a city employee.
So I brought this to the attention in August of 2025, and it should have been addressed in February 25. I'm not on a personal level. I'm on what the city property, it's a lease, that's all I'm looking at.
And the city's widow.
We have to take the personal side of this out of it, because the personal decision does not play an impact in what is best for the city of.
I had to have this conversation in August when I sent it out. I asked again in October. I've asked about this property.
I mean, $500 probably doesn't even, $500 a month might not even cover the homeowner insurance on the house. Because my homeowner's insurance is more than that on my house.
Absolutely.
So
That's what I'm saying. So the city is paying insurance on the property. We had a $10,000 deductible. We've invested $7,500, like another $10,000 deductible and we're out. I mean, we lost, I don't even know how much money on it with the prior tenants.
But that's when the roof collapsed on them, right?
no,
Oh, is that the one before?
When we that we had to evict.
So you didn't pay rent and made a mess of it. So you lost rent plus the damage. But that's the prior tenant. That has
It
nothing.
is the prior tenant, absolutely.
I would consider,
I'll amend it for a 6-month lease at $1,000 or a $1,200 month to month with the 30-day notice. I mean, I don't know if I can do either, but those are my two options. That's my motion amended.
I'll second that.
I got an amended motion by Veronica Mays, seconded by Don Martinez. Any other discussion? Does everybody understand the new motion?
Yes.
1,000 a month for 6 months
Or $1,200 month to month
or 1,200 month to month?
with the $500 deposit. Month to month.
Month to month.
So a 6 month.
it's,
$1,000 get you 6 months. If you want to go month to month, it's $1,200. Period.
However long they want.
And you said with the $500.
Up to a year.
Yes. You got-
Okay, up to a year, month to month, up to a year.
You're gonna have the recording, right? So you can get it exactly.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
Any other, John, go ahead.
I think Deanna is on
She is.
as Henry. And she has to be unmuted
Great.
and she,
Yes, I didn't
and she
see.
participates.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, council, are y'all there?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, one, I'm not gonna pay a deposit. I spoke with my lawyer today. Before you can increase my rent, you have to give me a 60-day notice. I busted my ass, my husband busted his ass, and I am not paying a deposit. This thing was a pigsty when we moved in. I would never leave it in the pigsty. I didn't quit my job showing my ass today, but I am not paying a deposit. I will pay $1,000 a month and I will be out of here in the month of May. Or, like I said, you can do the 60-day notice. That gives me till March, and then you can evict me, however you want to do it.
I'd rather do this in a
Y'all want to
pleasant
play
way.
ugly? I can play ugly. And I do need to address one more thing. That letter that D. Mays read from Debbie Barnes, one, code enforcement is deceased. Please show her some respect. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we have a motion second on the floor. Is there any other discussion? No amendments?
So I'll amend my motion. I'll give her $1,000, 3 months, end of lease. That's my motion.
Should work. I don't know if she has, putting her attorney, she don't have to pay it, but. So you amended the motion. I got an amended motion again by Veronica Mays. Second by Don Martinez. Everybody understand the new motion?
And just clearly that after 3 months, we're gonna get that house on the market, or we're gonna figure out what we're doing with it. 3 months.
May.
And no deposit.
No deposit, we're done.
Are you amending it again?
Yes.
Amended it again.
We're going $1,000 a month, no deposit.
No.
That's for 3 months. And that's what she asked for.
And that
I
will
don't see why that's not a problem.
start February? Is that when this lease ends?
I got a question.
You
Deanna.
can put whatever you want in there.
This lease ends, the current lease that we're in, that you asked me to go along with until it ends, so.
February.
It ends.
In February.
End of February?
And I don't know if it was the end or the beginning. I'd have to look at the lease. I don't remember the dates.
Thought it was.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, Ron, go ahead.
This question's for Deanna. You're leaving anyway in 3 months? Either way?
My daughter graduates in May. Soon as she graduates, I plan to get the hell out of Walsenburg.
No, so in my opinion, rumors aside, maybe that is just a silly rumor. With all that aside, that, I think we could be human and just leave it alone. She's gonna be gone in 3 months. So that's my opinion. Do what you
He agreed to pay $1,000 a month.
Well, I say she's a new widow and be a human and leave it alone as it is.
Miss May,
That's my.
can I address you personally?
I really don't think so.
Okay, then I'm gonna approach council. I made $1,211 every 2 weeks. That is $2,422 a month. Now, I no longer have a husband, income coming in. Now, if you think you're gonna bleed me dry over this piece of shit house, you have got me bad mistaken. So like you always say, you do the math. How in the hell do you expect me to live off of $900 a month?
Yeah, but Deanna, you need to pay $1,000 with no deposit, is what I thought I heard you say before.
That was an agreement me and Mr. Galusha had come up with. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, John, was that not before Henry died?
Yes.
Okay. My whole life has went freaking upside down. So I'm telling you what I make, what the city of Walsenburg pays, $2,422 a month. I quit today. So I no longer have that income. But I have never, ever been one day late on rent. I have never had police called to my house. I have went by y'all's rules up and down. And all I'm saying is Courtney graduates in May. I'm not asking anybody to let me live here free like y'all did your previous tenant. I think she lived here 3 years free. But like I said, per my attorney, you have to give me a 60-day notice of my rent increase. And wait a minute, I'm not through. I'm fight that and go ahead and still pay you rent, but you're not going to bleed me dry and make me humble down to this damn city. So either we can do it and continue on like we've been doing, or you can serve me an eviction notice and it takes me still 90 days to get out. Your choice.
When did Mr. DeLucia?
Point of order, please. We have a motion and a second on the floor. I think the last motion and second satisfied what Deanna asked for originally. So I don't see any problem with acting on that. Any other discussion?
I just went with what she asked for. That's all I changed. I amended my motion 3 times to give what was asked for. So.
Everybody understand the motion in the second? Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
No.
Jennifer Novak,
No.
Fred Ecker,
No.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser.
No.
Failed.
Thank
And the
you.
motion fails. 4-3.
We need to take action on this somehow, I guess, or we can just leave it the way it is, but
So I'll make another
you want to
motion.
try another motion?
That we go 750, 3 months.
No deposit.
No deposit.
Okay.
After 90 days notice. 60 days notice.
This lease ends and a new 3-month lease. So that'll be March, April, May.
Can we hear from Mr. Hyde on the 60-day?
I made a motion.
I got a motion by Veronica Mays, a second by Don Martinez. Further discussion? Mr. Hyde online? You got him unmuted?
I don't see Dan. Oh, there he is.
Mr. Hyatt, you want to weigh in on your?
I don't know if it's 60 days or not. As I recall, the rule is that you have to give them the same amount of time as their normal lease period. So I'd have to go back and take a look at the lease. And I have not read the original lease in probably a year. But there is a period of time where you have to give them notice.
Also said in the original lease, the first month's rent will not be due until the cleaning and repairs are done and the property was made livable. So it was a 2-year lease and the first months, I don't know when actually payments start being made.
I do not know either.
I mean, this lease is, compared to what the attorney put out, like this lease that I don't know where the city clerk at the time was able to pull this and make it and do whatever.
But she's gone in 3, go ahead, Mr. Hyde.
If you leave the lease amount where it's at, you can give her notice to vacate the property at the end of May.
All right, I'll make that, I'll amend my motion to that. I just want this over. I'll amend my motion to that.
500 a month the way it is.
100 a month. Notice that she vacates at the end of May 30, May 31st.
I got a motion by Veronica Mays,
I know.
Second.
second by Don Martinez. Fifth time we got amended motion.
So,
Any further discussion?
and then we discuss a new lease for a new renter.
No, discuss anything right now.
All right. No, I mean,
We will have to decide what we're gonna do come
May.
May. Terms, some kind of terms.
I like it staying the same till she wants to go.
That's what my motion is.
I like that. Thank you.
Till the end of May.
Till the end of May.
500 per month, with notice to vacate at the end of May and no deposit, correct?
Yes.
Make sure that that notice goes out before March. Or whenever it's due.
Yeah, I got a motion a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Veronica Mays,
No,
Donald Stafford,
Wait, you voted no?
sure did.
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
No.
Fred Eckert,
Yes.
John Martinez,
Yes.
Brightweiser,
Yes.
Mayor Bazzani.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, that one's over. Move on to the next.
Put in to rent it. I can get that kind of a deal.
You didn't.
You won't get that kind of a deal. You're not the widow of a city employee.
We're hoping our new administrator, we won't let these things slide. We're gonna renew everything when it's due on time.
Yeah, that's that tickler.
I-
All these leases, we have another one that we're gonna be working on soon.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have been lax in that department, so. Next, action on resolution number 2026 R2.
I can make a motion to approve resolution 2026 R02, a resolution appointing a municipal judge.
Second.
I got a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Ronald Stafford. Any discussion?
So are we? Why do you mean a municipal, I mean, it's talked about like like they have to have certain criteria and all, like. Some of this case, is this like appointing a certain person or is this just?
His name is in here.
Billy.
Billy Caruth.
Yeah.
Billy Caruth is listed as the appointee.
So it says who is licensed to practice law in Colorado or who is trained in the law.
Under Colorado statutes, under a rural classification of a county or Class D county,
Can you step up here?
Orfano County is city municipal judges and court and county judges are not required to have a bar associated degree or be a member of the bar, as they do not have normally the population to accommodate a bar appointed position as the city municipal judge. Within our classification, which has been understood and observed for years and years and years, you don't have to have a bar to be the city municipal court judge, nor the county judge. Only district and higher within our classification zone.
How's it going? You've been there 2 years now?
Been there 2 years. The first year, without the PD, we had approximately 41 cases for the entire year. Court. Since the PD, we've increased to 207 cases that have been before the court, with another 21 failure to appear warrants that are currently outstanding, not to mention the warrants that have been served and then re-seen within this court. Increased revenue, we were at $3,816 is what we brought in the first year in court, following PD coming in. 6 months of them doing tickets, we've increased to 60,000.
How much?
6 months.
60,000.
60,000. Projection for next year is 105, I believe.
Yeah, it's the budget.
105,000 in the current projections for next year's budget.
How does that?
Increase in revenue just from what we're seeing currently. That's not with the new radar system that you guys have implemented with PD. That's just what comes before, just our case. We now are all day, and we're looking at possibly having to do a second day, especially if we continue to have cases where We're dealing with attorneys, we have to look at possible jury trials, things of that nature. As they come up, we're gonna have to increase workload here. But I'm taking and brunting on my own.
So you can do jury trials and all that without a law?
Under Class D or rural classification, it was changed from Class A, B, C, D to rural, non-rural city.
So it is fair to say that the police department does generate revenue?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
wanted that clarification. I heard that a couple times tonight, so I just.
And those figures on the $60,704.12, mind you, was from the time in June when they started writing tickets. Of course, March to June was just spin up time with them becoming.
Is that all traffic? Is it
That's
like code enforcement? Is it?
code enforcement, dog fines, parking fines. So court costs $5,180. That's at $25 a case. Those are the cases that aren't withstanding due to failure to appear warrants, things of that nature. Dog fines, $1,695. That's notwithstanding 3 cases that are pending for other reasons that I'm not going to disclose. Parking fines at $1,044. Traffic fines, $34,197.19. Municipal codes, ordinance codes, $18,587.19. With expenditures at $8,000, bringing in a total revenue of $52,704.12 after expenditures.
What were the expenses?
My pay and a few other things, paperwork.
What's your pay?
So I was just.
I get paid
It's not in here.
municipal ordinance of $600 a month.
How many hours were you spending before?
1 hour.
I mean, total.
Total, 1 hour for court before. Now I'm operating at 20.
It's $600.
And $600.
How kind.
Ordinance, last ordinance that we can find that designated the court judge's pay was in 1978. It was set at $275. We don't know where the increase to 600 occurred because we can't find an ordinance declaring so. So it's safe to say that the judge's pay has not been increased.
Can we look into that?
Yes, sir. I did a little bit of research this morning.
Thank you, Billy.
Yes, sir.
The average municipal court judge pay in Colorado, based on just a quick search, was about 102,000, so roughly about $50 an hour. I think we had discussed.
And is that with someone with a law degree though?
No.
Because
it's split 50-50.
It's just all the, I forget how many municipalities there are in Colorado, but we just did a real quick search.
So I'm saying like you're comparing it against larger cities who may actually be attorneys or retired judges or.
But I think what that does provide you at least a baseline for an hourly rate. I think you could bring forward an ordinance, the next regular council meeting establishing the pay, unless you want to provide some direction on that particular issue.
Yeah, I think
We're not asking for 102,000.
No.
I don't want you to think that's what.
I think you need to do the compensation separate next meeting or something, because we have no data yet on that.
Yeah.
It is.
We can go ahead and do the
So
payment.
we could work with if assuming that you reappoint Billy, we can work on a presentation regarding the compensation piece for the next regular city council meeting.
That sounds good.
That work?
Yeah.
Needs to be addressed, yes.
So I'm good. That's all my questions. We have a motion. In a second.
I mean, if I may, just
Back. Do we get a motion in a second on this motion?
one last thing, if I may, if our municipal court operation ramps up and becomes more significant than what we were discussing, I think it was 2 days a week, something like that.
Yes.
Then we would probably want to pivot to an actual staff person as a court administrator and then have that person handle most of the paperwork and then go back out and try to find someone with a law degree to just sit as the municipal judge. I mean, right now, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, he's kind of head chef and bottle washer at the same time. You know, there's a lot.
Do we have a city prosecutor?
No.
No.
We don't have a city defense attorney, don't have a city prosecutor.
It's just you, Billy?
It's everything else.
We need to raise.
What's the council's pleasure?
Oh,
The motion on the table is just to approve this, to appoint the judge, to appoint those.
Yeah.
And that's all we're doing tonight.
Yes.
And we have a first and second.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll discuss pay.
We'll prepare a staff report for review next
Carmen?
council.
Can you send that out like ahead of time and not just with the packet, please? Thank you.
Well, I'm definitely not opposed to Mr. Caruth being appointed. And I think that he does need a raise. He's been doing a good job, and I think that council will have to decide on the money.
Well, the only thing is like the last time when Billy did get appointed, was that 2 years ago? So we put it out for whoever was interested and gave people the opportunity to, you know, and this time we didn't do that. We just offered. So, I mean, what is our practices? Do we put it out for anyone who's interested? I mean, because, you know, we had another person who was interested last time and.
To be open, attorney suggests that we would be better off with an attorney type person. So if you wanted to advertise, maybe you try to search for that.
I mean, I'm just asking, like, you know, in the past, we've always just interested.
Oh, I know.
The current one was interested, they just applied again.
But that's the recommendation of our attorney is a legal person would be a better fit.
So what we have discussed, if you're good with me sharing.
Well, yeah.
Bit of knowledge.
Well, our conversation was if there's more work, a body of work to be done that's administrative, then we pivot to an employee that's that's the court administrator that could facilitate the workflow with the police department. And then see if we can go out and find, maybe there's a retired judge, maybe there's some other individuals, maybe there's another municipal judge in somewhere that would want to take us on as a client and just limit that time. So it's just the judge coming in and calling balls and strikes. But there's all this other work that's involved beyond just sitting.
And under statute, we are also supposed to have a secondary person appointed as a municipal court judge. In the case, I end up in the hospital, somebody passes, or there's a conflict of interest. We don't have it. It's a one-man show. This is just to get us going, continue till we can see some fruition of the labor that we're putting in between the PD, myself, and administrators present, past, and so on. At that point.
Administration have a recommendation?
You know, I haven't looked at the budget. I think it would be fair. I think that I've seen, he's doing a good job. And with a lot of other municipal functions that we got going on, I don't want to change anything because we've got a lot going on. So I think it's fair. It'll buy you some time. But I think Billy, the chief, and I need to give you a presentation about what this body of work is, and then let the council decide what is fair compensation.
Yeah, but we're going to deal with the compensation next time.
Next time.
And this is for 2 years, so.
And
a lot can change in 2 years. Go ahead, John.
There's an error in the resolution.
Is any?
So the number 2 under now therefore be resolved on February 22nd, 2028, not 2026.
Okay.
Good catch.
I mean, do we have to do it for 2 years? Can we just do it for a year?
I believe the municipal code has
Under your
it
statute.
2-year terms for the city attorney and the municipal judge.
Mayor,
Mr. Hyatt, please. Go ahead.
Colorado statutes require that the appointment be for 2 years. So that's why it's 2 years. And once I don't have with Mr. Caruth being appointed the judge. My only point is that Colorado statute also says you're supposed to give preference to a person that has a law degree. I don't know that you have anyone down there that has a law degree that would even be interested. But the appointment is for 2 years, and you cannot remove a municipal judge from office except for cause. So if there's going to be some change and you appoint Mr. Caruth, then I think that what the administration would have to look at is providing Mr. Caruth or Judge Caruth with better administrative support and not the other way around. Does that make
I'll
sense?
make this concession to city council. If we're gonna do this for 2 years, if you choose to. At the time, if we find that we have grown to this point where we need to have a judge that is bar associated, I will step down as your judge and either take over as the alternate or step away completely and allow you guys to make that judgment call at that time. That's up to you. I'm not seeking to be here and be your number one. I want to get this grown to where a number one is required, which is what we have done and we have continued to do. And that's a large caseload. That's 228 cases from 36 to 40. There's the difference.
Okay, I have no problem with the appointment. Any further discussion?
So I would say, Mr. Pisani, before you sign that, you might see how your name's spelled.
Oh, is it wrong too?
Just check.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 Z's and 1 N.
Sounds like that too.
Yeah. Did I get a motion a second? Yeah.
I did.
Any further discussion? Roll call. Nope.
I just want to say that 102 is cities. Those are big, big municipalities.
We're gonna give
I
you,
mean, 25th percentile in the state, you're looking at more like 48,000. So please do
Well,
more research.
fortunately, we're guided by Colorado statute, so I think it's going to be pretty well told to us what, because I know that's how they pay the sheriff. I mean, that's.
It's just based on ordinance and what the statute declares to you.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Whatever your
it doesn't
ordinance
pay, no.
is.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Roll call.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays,
Yes.
Fred Eckert,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Don Martinez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next action on resolution 2026-R03, designating the city of Walsenburg's legal newspaper.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution for 2026-R03, a resolution designating the city of Walsenburg's legal newspaper for the calendar year 2026.
Second.
Got a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Veronica Mays. Any discussion?
It's the only, the game it down.
The only game in
I'm
town.
so grateful we still have a game it
Hearing-
down.
Hearing none.
Just want to comment on that. So
All
I
right.
just want to make sure that if the World Journal is our newspaper on record, that everything goes through them. Whatever city, police, everything goes through them. You know, there was something that happened and it was going to the Trinidad paper, not the Walsenburg paper. So I just want to make sure that we are following what we say we're going to do, and all departments use the World Journal if that's what we're approving.
Yes. Year and that's.
Thank you. My point.
Your name is wrong on this one too.
I said that.
Again?
Yes.
Okay,
Amy.
fix it. Any other discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays. Ronald Stafford.
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Fred Eckert,
Yes.
Don Martinez.
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, we're down to resolution number 2026-R04.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-R04, a resolution establishing public notice provisions for the city of Walsenburg's public meetings and providing the schedule of regular public meetings for calendar year 2026.
I've got a motion by Don Martinez,
Second.
second by Jennifer Novak. Discussion? None? Roll call.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Don Martinez.
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser.
Yes.
Ronald Stafford.
Yes.
Fred Eckert.
Yes.
Veronica Mays.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Down to correspondence in your enclosure and on the website, you can look at the letters from the Peakview Elementary School letters sent to us, the city council, requesting the Wild Waters Park be fixed.
Can I comment on that?
Sure, go ahead.
I thought they did a really, really good job. Their arguments were very convincing. They brought up excellent points. I hope they're online tonight and get to see us mentioning that we did take into account what they're requesting, and hopefully they will be happy with how it turns out.
To make them happy. Turns out.
Anyway, that's information only, and
Could write a letter to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
The letter go out from the city and the city council, or however that needs to be done, just addressing that they have been heard.
You could prepare a letter for the mayor's signature.
That would work.
official one. I've already sent Kayla emails with
Okay.
the letter.
Yeah, I think they would like an official letter, because that way they just have that reassurance that
Because I got a hold of Kayla to let her make sure she knew that this was going to be posted and.
Mhm. Those are our future leaders.
Yep.
Two Z's. I said two Z's.
Yeah. We're blaming you, Gina. We're blaming you for that, I think.
I'm looking at the resolution, 2025 R12, and your name is also misspelled.
I was just gonna say, that's why he always called you Benzane.
Hey, look at it.
Yeah. I was wondering.
That's what I was trying to
Double
do.
check that.
That's what I was trying to do, Gina, was go back to old ones.
And they're misspelled too. It's a hit and miss.
Okay, that's it for correspondence, mayor and council comments. All I got to say is I thank Peakview School and Ms. Grego for the interest in the city and the and I hope that gets us further down the line with the county. Maybe we can get that going. Other than that, that's all I got. Council, anything else?
I have two things. One of them, and maybe I need Dan's advice. When Veronica sends an email, if two of us answer, is it a violation of the sunshine law that we're discussing in an email without having it public? How do we communicate with each other? Do we have to bring it here and talk about it? Or can I answer Veronica's emails?
I think it's one.
Don't respond. Promise.
Don't respond, right?
Respond to one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that you should be having conversations back and forth. I think that is probably a violation of the Open
Okay.
Meetings Act. And you can't have serial conversations, but one of you can certainly send out information to another one. You just can't go back and forth.
Then is some of that information not public?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
Like the comparisons of what other rentals were going for in our community? That now I know that information because Veronica shared it. But is that public? Yeah.
That's where I got it. I publicly searched it.
Okay. As long as I don't answer.
Let Mr. Hyatt answer more specifically, because it's always been my experience in understanding the bar or unless there are confidential correspondence with you. And in practice, I have quarried hundreds of emails. Yes, I think those are open.
And just a reminder, use the city email all the time.
Only, yes.
And they are, even if it's just. Like any email is court and public records.
But I can talk to.
In the open meeting.
You and I can send emails back and forth, and Mark can Cora our emails.
I think she's asking about some.
Well, you're talking about two different problems. Making open records.
Emails are open records.
Mr. Hyatt, did you want to respond?
Those are two different issues, okay?
Okay.
There's an issue about whether or not there's a violation of the Open Meetings Act, which would entail a back and forth communication or a serial communication, but would not cover just sending out information from one council person to another. However, I believe I heard the comment made, and I think it's correct. All emails of a council member that are related to the city are subject to the Open Records Act and can be inspected by the public.
So can I ask, without
No,
violating or ask her
I don't think you
questions?
should, no.
Okay, all right.
No.
My second question is, are we supposed to be getting some specialized training about these exact items coming up shortly?
I think we're trying to get that set up for next month.
Okay,
Yes, it's the open meetings law.
Yeah.
And
There's sorts of training available.
and there's a second one. We have HR working on getting those set up.
okay. I saw the training, but it was more specific to a different thing than open meetings.
Specific is this is to help comply with the requirements of a court action.
Yes, okay. Next month,
Who's paying for that?
we're legally required to from a court
That's
action.
trainings are free.
Okay, so, but we're not paying for hotel.
No, it's free online.
Oh, online. Okay.
But are we doing like, I mean, every year that we've had new council members, Mr. Hyatt's done his Hyatt 101. So are we gonna
Yes.
do that?
I can still do that if the council wants, but I think that you need to have this very specific training on open meetings, open records, and the Colorado Criminal Justice Records Act. And that's going to be very specific and much more intense than I usually cover in my Hyatt 101.
And this is in answer to a lawsuit, right?
No, a potential suit.
Okay. Thank you.
Dave, go ahead.
Does P and Z need to be included in that?
On Mr. Hyatt, planning and zoning be included in the training?
They can be.
There's boards and
Sure.
commissions training that CIRSA provides
Yeah.
annually as well.
I think it could be open to anyone who sits on a city board or commission.
Right.
It's also going to be open to certain employees.
So Dave, we'll keep you posted when and where that is and how to get on it or whatever.
Probably do it here on that screen.
Cool.
And Mr. DiNicola online has a comment.
Who?
John DiNicola.
Good.
Hi, listen, Dan, part of that agreement was that all employees would get the training on the First Amendment along with the training on the core laws and all that. Just to be clear, and then we're also supposed to get copies of the certification that all employees were trained.
Okay, thank you.
To the public, if there's gonna be more than 3 council members.
We're trying to limit that to city employees or anybody that sits on a city board of any kind. But I don't think we're going to turn anybody down if you want to show up.
No, if you're going to have 3 or more council people present or 3 or more of any commission or board present, it has to be during the course of an open meeting. So it would be open to the public. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a lot to learn.
Thank you.
So just for clarification, next Tuesday,
That's who's going to adjourn. Go ahead.
next Tuesday, what are we doing? I mean, I know we're doing golf course. Will we get any financials ahead of time? Will we get any information prior to that? Will the board be here? Will they answer what and how they were still operating as of last week out there? I mean,
is there a board?
What are we getting? Exactly.
If I may, Mr. Mayor,
Go
the approach I was going to take for the meeting on Tuesday is a forward-looking proposal trying to estimate revenues and expenditures for municipal golf course enterprise operation that we would manage. All of our, everything would be managed by us. We'd have to hire everybody and everything else. I've seen some of the old financials and it's going to be difficult trying to tease out all this information because it was handled by a private party. So we were just going to propose a recommended budget and then have conversations about what it's going to take for us to operate the golf course. Anything that's retrospectively looking,
We should discuss the county's involvement too, that, and a board. Can that be part of the?
Absolutely.
That was my other,
an open discussion. Okay, well,
that was my second thing.
we arrive at a plan to make sure that we have an operating golf course for next year.
When we had that county meeting, I didn't know that it would not be recorded. And so I was engaged in the meeting and my notes were awful because be able to go back to that recording. And then the county doesn't record workshops where decisions aren't made. So if anybody did record that meeting, or has better notes than I took, I remember everything I liked. I don't.
Okay, well, we get to discuss it again.
But, so just so I'm clear, so from April to now, it's just a black hole. We don't care. We're just gonna sweep it aside and walk away, even though we're asking city residents, city taxpayers to cover $4,000 water bill, $5,000 to build a wall or whatever we're building, to do all of this. We want to put all this money there and the city doesn't deserve any answers.
Well, I think there are two issues. You got one, which is we're faced with the issue of it looks like we're going to be running the golf course this year. And then the second issue, if you want to instruct staff to commence investigation, focused investigation to answer a specific question, we could do those separate. But they're somewhat linked, but in reality, what we're going to be proposing to you is, okay, operationally, what is it going to take? You know, we're going to need to have ordinances, budgeted and appropriating money, got to figure out cash flow, all those things. And if you want us to do an investigation, we could do that too, but I would treat them as separate.
We're at this junction, but yet they're still functioning, they're still operating, they're still having parties, they're still doing all of that.
I don't know much of what's going on at the golf course right now.
One of the things that was proposed that I liked at that meeting was we talked to forming a parks district with the county. It would have to go in front of the voters for a mill levy. And then they would, our new parks district could manage all of those things. Of course, that was not a decision. It was just one of the ideas that I thought, because in the swimming pool, all the city parks, all the county parks would all have their own funding and manage themselves, which was a possibility.
But why do these things always get swept under the rug? When there's discrepancies, when there's fraud, when there's the whole billing thing in the utility department, you know, there were hundreds who were getting preferential billing. We have.
No, there was hundreds on the list.
Okay.
They weren't all guilty. There was not hundreds.
Okay, so the Golf Association. You guys, the two of you are stakeholders in that for decades. You took pride in it when you were managing it.
I was there 40 years.
Yes, I know.
More than 40 years.
Now you're willing just to turn away and say, okay, these young guys who were running it, who were just running.
I do not know the answers yet.
And it doesn't sound like we're gonna get the answer.
I wasn't there.
You know them personally, Gary. You appointed them. You appointed them. You appointed the new board. You know them personally. Why don't you know the answers?
I was.
Point of order.
I was not there.
This is council comments, point of order.
Not to you. I'm talking to
council,
not to you.
Point of order.
For gossip.
Point of order.
That's Virgil Latterini.
I know.
Yes. Can you imagine the embarrassment for them? What are you guys thinking?
You don't think you've embarrassed them?
What's that?
You embarrass them as much as anybody. All you do is criticize it. That's a criticism.
Out it, Gary.
I have a motion that adjourned by Fred Ecker, second by Ronald Stafford. All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Meeting adjourned.
Next time you and your gossip buddies get together.
This is from the city.
You
Who's
call
in the
me.
city telling me this? I'm not gonna disclose their name, but it was multiple people.
No, it's.
Hey, not for it.
Damn.
Hey,
I was
who
told
asked to hear this?
city council member and he's gonna repeat. I said that.
Everybody did.
Grants the city.
Hey,
That's it.
Nah.
That's it. They cut it out. That's it. It's done.
They ended that real quick.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Well,
man.
guys, another shit show. Appreciate everybody who watched.
Yeah.
All you that
Night all.
hung out for some of you guys, hung out for a while. A couple, three of you. Most of the show, we appreciate that. You know.
I'm sorry it was like this. I really am. Oh, hold on.
Ox and a Makita cup. And then I think I would like a large with cream.
Yes, and could I please have a donut, raspberry, and a orange drink?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. And bigger. Okay.
Oh, well, let me try to recap the order. A crawler, 2 sugar pucks, a Stanley cup, a large coffee with cream, a raspberry jelly donut, orange drink, and a box of 5 holes.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right,
but we did get some good stuff in there, didn't we? I gotta go back to the 3-hour mark.
Oh,
3-hour mark. We got a great statement out of Dan, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it seems they got some training to do. So we'll be looking forward to that. See if it changes anything.
Away we go.
It sounds like the water park though is a hot topic, guys. Sounds like maybe this summer we can come to Walsenburg and take a dip.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems more like that golf course is turning out to be a real firestorm.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll keep you guys updated.
Definitely. Again, everybody, thank you again for watching. No, it was a long show, and I know these meetings are kind of tedious, but again, you get some pretty good stuff if you sit there and watch them. And I guess we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great night, everybody.
Later.